Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 405. It was a fun week. There's actually a lot of stuff that happened. And on top of that, while we're trying to go through it, Sean is going to, I don't know, maybe you'll catch yourself with a mute here and there, but I'm kind of picturing stuff happening in your basketball game and you losing your mind randomly.
Yeah, maybe. It's still early. I hate you. God damn it.
Here we go.
Sean's watching the Knicks, and they're playing a team that he's not happy with right now.
Fuck Draymond.
Okay, there you go. That's Sean. He's with us. Our guest tonight, though, we have Colt Eastwood. We got some Xbox stuff, so I figure we got to bring him in as we go over it. How we doing, Colt?
Doing really good. Yeah, it has been a very, very busy week for Xbox news and other things. So, yeah, it's good to be here.
Sean would randomly invoke your name, so I was like, I guess we have to bring him on now. Just randomly throwing it out there. Yeah,
it's the king of Xbox, man. Come on.
There you go. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. We have Josie. Josie with us tonight.
Yep, happy to be here. I've been playing a bunch of Split Fiction. Good
Interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, you know what? I didn't have that down, but I'll go to you real quick. What do you think of Split Fiction?
I'm having a good time. I think some of the levels are a little longer than I like occasionally, but I think it's fun. I'm halfway through the game right now. The little side stories are awesome. It kind of plays exactly like It Takes Two, but a little bit different in some sort of ways, but it's a lot of fun. The boss battles are great. I've been loving it.
Does it feel like higher quality than It Takes Two?
I don't know. It feels like kind of the exact same.
Really?
It just feels like more of it, which is not a bad thing. It Takes Two played amazing, so it just plays pretty much exactly the same.
You like the theming though, between fantasy and kind of like that sci-fi back and forth?
It's cool. I'm learning more of the story, and it's pretty good. I think that I like this. I think it's hard to not compare it to It Takes Two, which I do like the story of a bit more. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. Switching between the two and the little side stories with the pig was crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen clips on that, but
I haven't played it yet.
Okay, so
you got to find somebody to play it with.
Jump into this one thing, and you there's these pigs, and you play as them, and it's just crazy. But then at the end, you think it's gonna be this really wholesome ending, and it's kind of super brutal and crazy. I won't spoil it, but it's fun. It's super funny. The humor in the game is pretty good. Great game.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I just need to figure out one, a time to play it, and two, not have a million games happening at once. But the co-op thing, are you playing with your boyfriend for that?
I am. It's very fun to play.
I think you mentioned that you were gonna do that. Yeah. Is it on PC or PlayStation or?
PlayStation, because then I just sit in here and do it, so it's fun.
Okay. Good stuff.
If you want to play it, John, we can stream it.
Oh, is it loud? My bad. It might be my PC though.
What's up, OJ?
What's up, man? I didn't even know it was that loud. My bad. Is it still
McIntyre,
there?
Yeah. Wait. What? Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
Corey McIntyre says, "What's up? F # RS RGT. How's the fam?
They're good. Nothing to report. I haven't seen them this week, but they're good.
Shout out to Corey McIntyre. And then Pikmin says facial hair dominance this stream.
Josie's is coming in nicely.
Shut the hell up. No, what does that even mean? Your hairline. How's your hairline doing, RGT?
It's great. A lot better than the guy in the top left corner there.
Hey, you just wait. I'll become a Knicks fan. I'll get the hat and everything. I'll get the hat.
All this stuff is out of our control, all right?
Well, is it? I mean, Turkey's not that far away. I mean,
it's not. Wait till that Ubisoft Turkey event comes up.
Those people come back. Have you seen when they go to Turkey? They come back new men. Dudes come back looking completely different.
John Cena's
he
bald
might have got
miraculously disappeared. I don't know.
Wait, John Cena's bald spot disappeared?
Yeah, and it was it wasn't John. It wasn't on wrestling. It was just in public. Somebody saw him and they filmed him from the back, and his bald spot was completely gone.
It was just hair. It was just the hairspray.
I don't think
it's the hair growth thing.
Yeah, no, it's not the hair. It's this little stuff that you get to help fill in. I gotta do that ish too. Whenever I go to court, I gotta do that crap.
Fiber in a can that just sticks to your head.
Yeah, it's just a little fiber. You just shake it like a little bit, and it just fills in. You like I said, and you just wash it off.
It's just Chia Pet stuff. It's really good.
Yeah.
Spray that, put it on like a part of my wall, and just write things.
No, it's not a spray though. It feels like a hair fiber. You know what I'm saying? It's not a spray. So he probably just doused some of that on there, and it looks like if you do it well enough, it looks like it's actually fixed.
Yeah, I'll just do what Sean does more the next app and never have to address it.
Josie, it's the same material as the mascara. You know the lash extender mascara that like has fibers on the tip? It's exactly like that, but for your head.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How you doing, Celia?
Pretty good. I think I fixed my audio. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it sounds a lot better. It doesn't sound like through like a drive-through microphone.
I miss it though. It was fun. But besides that, working on audio, I've been playing a few games, Lost Records. I'm still playing through Majora's Mask bit by bit, and starting Catherine Full Body tonight. I've never played that game. I'm a huge Atlas fan, and I just never got to that one. So my friend let me borrow it, so I'm gonna play.
It's a weird. I remember when that game came out. It was a weird game. I played it through on the 360.
So yeah, how do you feel about like people in like sheep boxers? What's
you
your
know,
first
I'm
impression?
about to find out. When they did the release of it, and they like were at re-release, I think, and they advertised it like the last E3. I acquired the sheep headband thing, and I've had it for years, and I'm like, oh, I'm such a poser for having this and not playing the game. So I don't know. I'll report back and let you know.
Here's what you need to report back on. Back then, what they did was when you made a moral decision in the game, they would tell you how everyone else voted too and where you fall in like the moral spectrum for that decision. So excellent. I'm curious if they still do that with the new version now.
I hope they do. I like to be like, oh shit, after I pick things.
Yeah,
you'll see
it. It's a weird story.
Yeah.
It's a weird story. Yeah, it'll be like you have to choose between different girls and stuff, and it's there's a whole thing.
Yeah, I'm going in blind, so I don't know. What'd you say?
I won't say anything else then.
Sean's not interested. He said choose between different girls.
I was surprised Sean didn't play that game.
I didn't play it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It looked cool, but I never just got around.
Main character kind of is you at times, so maybe you should look into it.
I don't like the sound of that. Yeah. Where's the foul? Sorry,
Sean. Jesus.
Complaining about my fan? God damn, bro.
OJ, how you doing over there?
I'm doing okay. Well, my eardrum ain't blown out from this dude. I'm all right.
Good to have OJ here. We got Evan.
Yep.
Evan's with us too. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, as I mentioned, we brought Colt on because we had a bunch of Xbox stuff this past week, but the big one was, of course, the handheld that we're expecting now this year, but it's not necessarily the Xbox handheld people are looking forward to, I guess. But then we also have like the Oblivion Remake and stuff. So there's a lot there. Death Stranding 2 got the full reveal with the release date. And we even had some discussion around the idea of, once again, NSO GameCube. Is that something you could see with the Switch too? So a lot to get to here. So first, I do want to bring this up. Anyone who's not playing Assassin's Creed, because they did let us announce that we were playing Assassin's Creed and stuff. If you're playing Assassin's Creed right now, do not put a number out there because that could obviously get you in hot water with Ubisoft embargoes and stuff for that. But I think Sean's not playing it. Joe's not playing. Evan, Celia. Okay, we should see the Metacritic scores this week. You guys want to throw out your prediction for the score on Assassin's Creed Shadows?
I'm happy to throw out mine first.
Okay.
So I'm expecting.
Do you want me to tell you what the Metacritic score was for the last one, Valhalla?
I know Unity was the worst doing. Was that the most recent one? I do not follow
Mirage.
this.
Mirage was, but that was kind of a smaller one. Like people don't necessarily.
One.
It wasn't like the big Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like the big one, the last big one that people will look towards. Which I think that reviewed. I want to say it was an 80 on PlayStation.
Yeah,
Mirage is one of the lowest.
Yeah, Unity. When I was googling like what was the worst one, apparently was Unity at like 72%.
Yeah, 72.
I'm expecting this game though to, even if it's like the most fantastic game ever, like let's just pretend, to get review bombed out the gates. So I'm going to assume it's gonna like even out around a 76. I even like compared it to like, you know, how Dragon Age did, and like it ended up evening out at like an 82, despite having like a huge unfavorable user rating. So I'm assuming it'll do the same. So 76, 77.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. What about you, Josie? You got a guess?
The first number that came into my head was 75, but now I look like I'm just copying Celia's
Well,
answer.
I will say Valhalla reviewed, the lowest it reviewed was on PlayStation 4. That was the most. That was an 80. It got an 84 on Xbox at 47 reviews.
I feel like nobody was really excited for this, though. You know, I just don't think it's going to do like that well.
Okay.
75.
What, 75.
Maybe a
Wow,
79 if people love it. But
okay. Okay. Wow. All right. What do you got there, Sean?
I am going higher than both of them. I'm saying an 83.
oh, he's positive tonight.
I'm not positive tonight. It's
Okay.
because there's
He's
going
watching the
to,
Knicks.
there's going yeah, I'm suicidal if anything. No, there's going to be reviewers that are gonna score it, I think, higher than maybe they even feel like it is, just because all the bullshit surrounding it. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think it'll score a little bit higher than Valhalla.
Okay, that's fair. And what about you?
I mean,
Evan?
well, to be fair, Valhalla was a 80 and an 82 on PS4 and Xbox One. I mean, I guess you could, Series X was an 84, so I don't know. Probably around there.
Okay. What do you got?
We're
Evan?
not allowed to guess a Metacritic? Are we not allowed?
I don't
to
know,
guess
because I'm kind of thinking that might like give away our feeling on.
No, that has nothing to do.
So?
None of us vote for the Metacritic, so it doesn't. None of us vote for it, so it doesn't matter.
No, but
I'm not going to get assassinated.
Yeah, part of it's
All right, you
NDA. So I mean, if you're
Well,
gonna
no, I'm just saying what other people. Well, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
true.
you go first, John. Don't worry.
Yeah, you test the waters.
You test
Wait
the
here.
for Metacritic, because it's not my review or anything, or my.
Yeah. It's not your review. Go ahead. Go first. You next, Colt.
So I had to go with like what I think the publications are going to put out there.
Yeah.
What it could average out to. I think it'll be higher than Valhalla. So I would say, what did you say, Sean? You said an 83.
I might go.
Exactly when you did.
I don't know. I kind of want to go a little higher now that, because I was just looking at PS5 was 84, but that was only based on 8 reviews. But Series X got 47 reviews, and it was based on 84. I actually want to go up to 86 if I can. If that's
I don't think
allowed.
it breaks the 85 barrier.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, people are gonna. There's gonna be some of those sus reviews that are
I
like
feel
9.5.
that. But we've already got games that have come out that are at least relatively interesting to distract people from it. And I mean, this is Assassin's Creed. You take away the named thing
it's
after
finally
Assassin's
Japan,
Creed,
though.
yeah,
You
but
know,
nobody, at this point, like you've been waiting so long that you're just like, I guess. Well,
OJ is excited because it's Japan.
no one's
I'm
doing
not-
hand.
I'm not excited
No
or
one's doing
not.
hand symbols and summoning wolves. No one cares about it for that.
I'm not. I did not say I'm excited or not. Or wait, actually, no, I did say I was excited to try it out, but I'm not saying I'm excited while I'm playing or not. I didn't say anything like such.
I said you were excited because it was in Japan, not because of the fact that you are playing it. So
let's just clarify that. Okay, good. Yes,
You're stressing him out.
What are you going with, Sean?
I'm gonna go at 86.
I'm gonna go 87.
He fell. Jesus. Okay.
I'll go 87. I'll go
That's
one
like
above.
Price
breaks
is Right,
the
John.
85 barrier.
You go 1 point above 87.
I'll go 1 point above. Just to like what
Okay.
I think the not for me, but like what I think the publications will give it. Although sometimes I see Metacritic, I don't even know half the publications that are putting reviews in, so I don't know. I don't know. I've noticed this more and more. It's like I learn about places by looking at Metacritic. I'm like, I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Player 2 is? The Xbox Hub? Somos
I'm telling you.
Xbox? Stevie Orr?
I've heard of Stevie or whatever. Yeah, I've heard of
Atomics with an X?
I've heard of that, but that's because I look at
GameSpew?
Metacritic a lot. Yeah, GameSpew. Yeah.
Jim Sterling's going to come in with like an 11.
Does he still do? Is he still on Metacritic?
He's still on Metacritic. Whatever's going on in Sterling's world, they're still on Metacritic.
I haven't heard anybody complain about one of his reviews in a while, so I thought maybe he
I
just
haven't either.
quit. You know?
Yeah, kind of thought they dropped
Yeah.
off the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's we'll see. That reviews embargoes on the 18th, so we'll find out Tuesday. We'll see where we stand with that when they drop those. We did have Death Stranding 2, Sean's favorite game. Been looking forward to it for years now. It's exciting stuff. Him and OJ, they might go in on the collector's edition.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna buy it. I bought the first game. I'm gonna buy the second game. Try it again.
I hope when you're having your morning drink, your children pour bleach in there without you knowing it.
Wow.
Wow.
John's
Well,
children?
you used to have a
Yes.
child on your nightstand. Where'd that go?
The BB thing, baby
Yeah.
thing. It's in the. I still actually have it.
You gotta explain that.
No, he
It's the
doesn't.
Death Stranding, the collector's edition came with the baby in the
Okay.
jar and it would
He
light
has it.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He
He
has
bought it
no
because
other
it was a
reason.
baby. There was
Yeah.
My son.
So we told him to leave it on like in his bedroom on the nightstand. No context for if he had someone over from Tinder or something.
Okay.
Never mention it. Nothing. Because
I've turned a new page in life, Jonathan. We're getting older now. All right, we're a little,
He
we're a little
switched
more
to Grinder.
Grinder. I know. It's Grinder. It's okay. We accept you. It's all good.
got jokes.
the setup was there. Even like everyone
Yeah,
it was like
setup.
the slowest haymaker ever. Well, Death Stranding 2 coming June 26th. They're doing a 2-day early launch period where you can pay more and get it 2 days early on the 24th. It looks off the wall weird from Kojima again, but they definitely had what looked like some Metal Gear references in there. People were seeing one character as Snake. They had what looked like Rex, like the entire park getting jammed on top of some like goo monster or something. It looked crazy, but there were some cool moments where he went above the clouds and kind of looked down from the cliff. It's sort of that Death Stranding moment where they hit you with like the low roar as you're going over the top from like 20 minutes of walking. So it's such a hard game to explain to people why it was good, but I still look back on Death Stranding as being a game that I didn't like initially, but then over time ended up liking it quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to the second one.
Yeah, I played it when it came to PC, and I really liked it at first, but it came out like they came to PC when I was playing other stuff. So I liked it, and then I set it down, and then it came to Xbox. I'm like, let me try this again, and my save picked back up, and I had a good friend who told me over and over, he's like, you're never gonna finish it, you're gonna ditch it, and I'm like, I'm really liking it. It's getting better and better. And he kept saying over and over, he's like, no, it's trash, it's boring. All you do is hold both triggers to win. It's awful. And it got to the point where like I couldn't even talk to this friend because I was having a hard time enjoying the game. Just constantly message me, tell me that I was not having a good time. You'll never finish it. Well, I played it for like 3 weeks straight, finished it, absolutely loved it, even teared up at moments, even though I didn't understand half what was going on. And now with the Death Stranding 2 trailer, he picked up Death Stranding 1 on PC and is head over heels in love with it a year later. And I just keep saying, you owe me an apology. You were so wrong. He's like, yeah, I was really wrong. And I guess Death Stranding is one of those types of games. You can't explain it, but it can be so therapeutic and just a whole vibe when you play the game. And I loved it. I'm looking forward to the second one.
Yeah. So you're not I assume you're not interested in this, Sean. You're passing over it.
I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, Kojima's just not. Are you? I
didn't sell it to him just then.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you're looking more towards Kojima maybe returning to his roots with Fizzant whenever he shows that. Then something more spy thriller based Metal Gear.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of good on Kojima in general right now until further notice. Yeah, just I'm sure it'll be a cool game for fans of the franchise, but for me, I'm okay.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, OJ? You said you're gonna try it again.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Are you really? Okay.
Yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it out. I mean, the first game I put 20 hours plus on 30, something like that. It just wasn't for me. And I know I've seen, what people talk about it, and and I know that it gets better. I've seen the whole retrospective on it, and I think it's cool. It's just I'm not a fan of what they did for the gameplay. I'm just not a fan of like all of it. I'm not a fan of like the whole package delivery stuff and all that in the world. I mean, I guess it's cool when people build stuff, but it's just, I don't know. There just wasn't enough in the open world for me, at least, in terms of stuff
Looks
to
like there's
do.
more action in the second
and
one with the
things.
trailer.
It does, and that's what caught my interest. It looks like they're going to refine a lot of the things that was good about the game, and maybe some of the stuff that maybe wasn't as good. Maybe that stuff's not going to be, as prevalent. Although it's still something that has like some of the same concept. But Kojima's crazy. You never know. I mean, like some people, not everybody, but I know some people that like Metal Gear Solid 3, but don't like Metal Gear Solid the original. So you never know, right? Until you like really try it out and see it. And there's some people that love Metal Gear Solid 4. But hate 1, hate Twin Snakes, maybe hate 2, but like 5. Like it's kind of spotty with Kojima, right? Like you can never really truly understand or know till you try it. So I'll give it another try. If it sucks, oh well, it's not that big of a deal. Or if I don't like it, who cares? As long as people enjoy it and Kojima can do what he wants to do, that's cool, man. Because I think Kojima's dope, so it's cool to see him be able to make what he wants to make.
It definitely, if anything else, looks like it's going to be a good piece for showing off maybe a new TV or visuals in general, because like the graphics and that looked crazy with some of the animations and character models and stuff. But Celia, have you played Death Stranding? Look at it at all?
I tried it out and did not like it, and I was like, not for me. But I do appreciate that it's a good game. The only thing I'm like, I guess, pissy about is that it's releasing on June 26th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is Shovel Knight's birthday. We do all of our announcements that week, and so it is rearranging a lot of my plans right now that I allegedly may or may not have. And I have to go figure that out now. Thanks, Kojima.
Shovel Knight's birthday, man.
Yeah, it's always safe because it's like it doesn't interfere with like the Summer Games Fest news, and like it's enough breathing room where if there's like immediate shadow drops, like I don't have to deal with like media being overloaded with different coverage of like like larger games. And so now I have to like look at scheduling for things, and it's fine. Like it'll be okay, but I'm just annoyed.
Yeah, Josie, any interest? I don't know if you really checked out Death Stranding 1 at all.
Not really. I think like I think the idea of it's cool, and I've watched a lot of videos on it. Maybe someday. I just feel like I don't really have the time to dive into a game like that right now.
That's fair. That's fair. The thing that was so interesting about Death Stranding 1 is it was kind of coincidental on Kojima's part, but I mean it leaned into the idea of people avoiding each other and staying inside and kind of having like robots. Like you have like one delivery person that takes care of a lot of the stuff because everyone's holed up in shelters and stuff. And then in the second one now they're showing servers and stuff on the beach, and the tagline is "Should we have connected?" And he said he had to rewrite the whole thing after the pandemic and everything that happened there. So now I'm thinking, oh, okay, hold on a minute. This sounds awfully a lot like him and his take maybe on like social media and how much people are so reliant on those connections and being so online. So I'm curious how that all works out with the story and kind of the themes of it. But it's I'm excited for it. June 26th. Got another game to look forward to for the summer. Speaking of which, we also have, well, we don't have a release date on it, but we do have Silent Hill F. So this one looks kind of interesting. It's coming out for PS5, PC, and Xbox Series systems. And we already heard about this a couple years ago, but this is the first real, like, full reveal of this game. And it is going to Japan. Silent Hill is for the first time. Although people are a little confused on this one because it's not technically in like Silent Hill, and they're like, okay, what makes this Silent Hill versus it being like a Fatal Frame or something? And it looks like it is heavy psychological horror. Like that trailer is like borderline. I don't know if you could actually put this on TV in an ad or something.
No, it looks nuts. It looks like almost like Eternal Darkness type of messing with your head, with some of the stuff that could happen. So yeah, I was very impressed when I watched the trailer. I'm not a Silent Hill fan. I've never been into the games. I've tried them out, played them, not for me. But this one looked really cool. I'll definitely watch playthroughs of people probably getting freaked out playing the game.
I don't like the fucking stupid shit they're already doing with like the warning before you even look at the game. Like, come on, dude. It's a rated M game. You don't fucking like that's just weird. It's so weird to me to have to do that for a game that's intended for an adults. As far as the game is concerned, I think it looks good. I kind of get Siren vibes from it. Because really Japanese horror is a lot different than what you see with Western horror. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to see some more from it. I didn't really care for the presentation because it was like 4 minutes a game, and then the rest was a bunch of people talking, and it's kind of like, okay.
I didn't even watch the presentation.
The warning on the Silent Hill F.
Yeah.
Is this it's on their website?
I think it's like it's on the Steam page.
Let me see.
Just letting you know what you're getting yourself into.
I mean, it just seems unnecessary. Like it's a horror game.
Letting you know what you're getting yourself into.
Oh, I see. I see the warning here. And it's like, so when you go into it, it has like the age for the, you got to put your age in to get past this gate. And it looks like it just describes a bunch of stuff that's in there. Yeah, it's basically it's a similar warning to Silent Hill 2. I mean, it's the same. It looks, I mean, it may not the exact same contents here, but it's the same thing they did for Silent Hill 2 half a year ago.
Right. But it's still kind of weird to me. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't care to a point
Actually,
where
I think every Silent Hill game,
protesting.
I'm honest, I think every Silent Hill game has a warning in the beginning of it.
No.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Don't they all have like a warning when you turn it on?
Yeah, if you have
back
like
then, it was only for like flashing
you get a
lights.
seizure.
Yeah,
that's all they cared
light
about.
warnings. Yeah,
Physical damage, not mental trauma.
I feel like Silent Hill 1 even had it.
It might have. You got to go back and look.
Double check.
Maybe. Yeah, double check.
I feel like there were warnings. I feel like all these games have warnings. I have to look. I feel like there's like a card or a picture, and it's like this has extreme bouts of violence or blah blah blah, all that stuff when you turn it on. Yeah, there was one for short message. Okay, I was gonna say, hold on a minute.
who's fucking? Okay, I'm not talking.
No, short message. Short message had warnings during the game, if I remember right. You'd be walking through. Stop. Here's a warning. I remember that.
Was it
Are people finding Silent Hill for the first time? This is good.
Sorry.
This is good if people have never played Silent Hill before.
John, it's not good. Yeah, it's good to have a warning pop up while you're playing a game to warn you that there's going to be something. Come on. Let's be serious here for a second.
I think this is I think this is something we've seen a lot of. I don't think this is new.
I didn't say it was new. I said it's weird. I don't like it.
Sean, would you like an email or text message instead?
I would like nothing. I would like for people to see, hey, this is a horror video game that's rated M for mature. There's probably going to be some fucked up shit in it.
Okay. All right. I'll let them know. I'm cool with Konami.
Well, anyway, Silent Hill F. Other than the warning at the beginning, would you think, Colt, about the game?
I don't know a lot about Silent Hill, so I mean, this one's apparently it's multi-platform, so it's going to be on everything. So I typically stay away from horror games. So yeah, I don't play Outlast or even some of the Resident Evil games like Resident Evil 7 I couldn't finish because I screamed. So I stay away from them. So I haven't been excited about Silent Hill announcements all that much.
Oh, that's a good point. Hey, maybe it's part of the marketing. Like, if you see that, are you more interested because they have to warn people?
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, people do like that, don't they? Don't tell me what to do. I'll play it, whether you want me to or not.
There were always those movies that they would show like ads for, and it's like they have to be careful. You have the viewer discretion advised, and they show the people in the movie theater like freaking out. It's all part of the marketing, but
that type of marketing works. Like legitimately, it's on video game related. But when there's a show called Gossip Girl that came out in the early 2000s, and their marketing for it was like the raunchiest thing on television. They had like billboards, like this was banned. Like they did a bunch of things like that, and there was a huge viewer turnout despite it not being raunchy or that bad at all.
Just lying then.
I mean, like technically, it could be in a certain lens, but This legitimately looks scary. While you guys were talking, I was watching the trailer because I also do not partake in scary games. And yeah, this looks like it'll emotionally hurt me. Probably will watch someone play. Not going to do that myself.
I think, what was the movie that they tried to play that marketing up for? Was it the first Paranormal Activity, and then you watch it and you're like, that wasn't. What were the people in the movie theater screaming?
No,
about?
the ring, right?
Was the Ring?
That,
The
like
Ring
the,
was
the one
scary,
where,
though.
where the girl comes out of the TV. They did some crazy marketing for that, didn't they?
I think they did with that.
That
That
wasn't
was
even
just
that
all
bad.
that got like the Saturday Night Live treatment and all this stuff too.
Oh,
so they
yeah,
kind of made
yeah.
it into comedy.
It made
But I
it
feel
into like a
Paranormal
meme or a
Activity,
joke.
They like filmed the audience as like they're freaking out, and you go and see it, and you're like, they just filmed themselves sleeping for half the movie. Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie with whatever that movie was with the girl coming on TV. It was not anywhere near as crazy as they tried to make it out to be. I was upset. I was broke and I spent my money on it.
I think the person that's writing it, Ryu Kishio 7. I'm not someone who's super familiar with them, but people seem very excited about, I guess, the story they're putting together for it. So they have a long history with horror games. So more psychological horror, looks like it. No release date on it though. So Konami, they're making some moves. I'll give them that. They seem like they want Silent Hill to be a big thing. So it's always been kind of a smaller franchise for them, but maybe they can make it work. Silent Hill 2 sold really well. So we'll see. We have Oblivion Remake. Nate dropped some information on this just randomly on Twitter, and then people picked it up. But VGC, I think, wanted to pick it up because they could also, in turn, say that they have also heard that this thing could be releasing as soon as next month in April, which would be, I mean, that's already kind of a pretty big month for Microsoft. So it seems a little odd for them to try to fit it in between. They have South of Midnight, and they also have Clair Obscur, and then they have PS5 games coming out too next month. Some people are mentioning Indiana Jones could be coming out next month as well.
Yeah, I think it's really likely.
Yeah. So what do you think about this, Colt? Oblivion Remake as soon as next month, just from Microsoft, maybe even a shadow drop.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to believe when Nate the Hate shares his information and then kind of has to further refine it or change it, because he's ended up being right on a lot of this stuff. So the original idea was that Oblivion Remake would come out, would be shown at the showcase in June and come out like right then or soon after. But yeah, that's what he's saying. Like, it's very possible that this game shadow drops. My concern would be, I know Oblivion's really popular, it's a really well-loved game, but don't you want a little bit of momentum marketing for this game before you release it? Like, I would think most people know it, but what Xbox and Bethesda are doing here is they're remaking a classic 18-year-old game. It's almost 19 years old. So this isn't like grabbing like Days Gone and bringing it up forward again and remastering it. Like, you're trying to attract new fans. And so I would want a marketing push on that for at least a couple of months to get people excited. So my prediction, because I don't know anything, would be that if we do hear about this thing in April, that maybe it really is set for early June to be released, because this could be a big game, because it takes a while to get through all the content in Oblivion, and it's supposedly remastered or remade all in Unreal Engine 5, which is crazy because it's a Gamebryo game from back in the Xbox 360 days. So there's kind of a lot to unpack here, and I'm sure your panel knows a lot more about Oblivion than I have, because I never actually really went through the game. My first entry was Skyrim.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so Oblivion, for a lot of people, they look back on it right now and they're like, man, that was the one. That was like, that's their Elder Scrolls game. And then they probably haven't played it for like 10 years. And you go back and play it now, you're like, okay, this does need some help. There's a lot about it with the combat and other elements to it. You're like, this probably needs a bit of a refresh. So I think this is going to be good, but I also think it's going to be an introduction for a lot of people right now. I mean, you said the game's it's just about 19 years old, because it came out it came out right around this time in 2006.
Yeah, spring 2006. Yeah.
I remember on the run up to the 360 coming out, this was being shown in like magazines and stuff, and I was like, this game looks crazy. New Elder Scrolls game, and it missed the launch day. It ended up going out a few months, but it came out I think in March. However, this is the game that a lot of people like. I feel like Sean, you've mentioned you liked Oblivion more than most of the Elder Scrolls. Am I wrong? I feel like you liked that more than Skyrim.
No, I liked both.
Okay.
But I did like Oblivion a lot. I'm kind of the mindset where it's like, I think if it is a shadow drop, I would potentially have questions about the quality of it, like how much effort went into it. I couldn't really see it being a shadow drop because, like Colt said, I think this is a big enough game to where there would be at least some sort of hype and build up to it. But I mean, if it seems like it's happening, I do wonder how much because the thing about Oblivion was there was only like 10 people who did voices for it. So I wonder if they've like re-recorded any dialogue with like new people or AI, voices or something like that, because a lot of the voices sound the same. But I genuinely enjoyed like the quests and the world and all that stuff. It was super buggy, but it was fun.
To jump in, no. Keep the same 10 voices. I know we're saying, refresh for, the combat or whatever. No, I want the uncanny zoom, like NPC, like pivot into the zoom, like a medium close up of the NPCs. And it's like one of 10 voices that's talking to you with their weird faces. It's incredible. Keep that. I will riot in the streets if they make that less creepy.
I will say that I think in today's day, like doing just like a shadow drop for like a remaster or remake might work. I think it can work well depending on what it is. I know Metroid Prime, that was a highly decorated game. It's not as big as Oblivion in terms of like the size of the game, but Metroid Prime was crazy and they just dropped it they didn't shadow drop it, but they just said it's coming. Didn't they just say, or was it shadow dropped?
It was shadow dropped.
Yeah, it was shadow dropped. Okay, yeah, cool. The physical edition
came later.
Yeah, so if you just drop and then everyone we'll just run out there and buy it. So if you give people no opportunity to think and just hype and just say get it, like that might be a good idea. It could be a good idea. I think they also did they do that with Hi-Fi Rush? That was a brand new game.
That
was one that dropped.
Yeah, that was a brand new game, and they just said here it is, and that game was super good. So it's like
it really worked out well for the studio.
It didn't work out for Hi-Fi Rush as much.
Okay,
it didn't work out, but it worked out for Metroid Prime.
The exception should not be the rule on these type of situations. And yeah, it didn't work out for the studio. Like, I don't think it would be a good idea because, like, as what Colt said, this is introducing to a whole new audience. It is 20 years old, well, almost 20 years old. And so there's a lot that would go into it to introducing the audience to this type of game, especially if like the refresh isn't as graphic oriented, or like it kind of depends on what spin they're also doing on the game. If they do a shadow drop, I feel like it would probably be a Game Pass focused one, since that tends to be, I guess, their closest moneymaker with game purchases purchases on the console platform in general. So I feel like that would be the approach that they would do, but I really hope they give it the breathing room because it is such a cool game and there's a lot of fun things they could do with it. And the Xbox's like marketing team, when they do highlight games, they do have a lot of fun with things. So I would love to see it.
I just remember walking around just jumping everywhere to get my like agility up. Just constant. I'm just jumping everywhere.
You would do it in a corner of like
that's right.
So usually a cave, that way the ceiling was
That's right.
You guys remember NPCs just randomly dying mid-quest?
Yeah.
Incredible.
All over.
Love it. Okay.
I hope there is some jank to that game still, even though they're gonna redoing UE5 and stuff. I don't know. It's something about that, like the jank in that game is just funny.
Keep it crappy. I love it.
All built in.
Virtuos probably won't. That's apparently he's working on because they want at least something for their portfolio. But I hope they don't lose. I mean, you could lose some of like the, I don't know, what would you call it, the soul or something from the game if you
charm.
If you try to dress it up too much and it's like, oh, this looks almost like superficial or plasticky kind of. I don't know. That's what I'm like. Ninja Gaiden Black 2, they shadow dropped that, and that game looked awesome in Unreal Engine 5. So if it's something similar there, and they do release, I'm also thinking in April South of Midnight, Clair Obscur, Forza, maybe Indiana Jones. There's like 1 week I can see here where they might even release it just randomly. So, and this is coming off the heels of months ago, Sean, where Avowed had to be pushed because there's no room.
Yeah, I got backlog.
So cool.
Backlog was too big.
Yeah.
Either way,
if you believe that was the reason, but I don't.
Sean alluded to it quite a bit that wasn't the reason.
Yeah.
But it's I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it is a month away and they drop it in Game Pass. I'll download that immediately.
I mean, I don't know if we know for sure. I mean, I think it's according to Nate the Hate that it's Virtual Studio, but they're also the team that's shipping Snake Eater this year. They're also remastering. So, like when you say, I hope they keep that charm. When you look at Snake Eater, it's like it's still kind of. It looks like the way we remember it. Like, people like to say that about remakes. So, I think that janky charm will be there. It's just Gamebryo engine turned into Creation Engine to become Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 was. I think Fallout 3 was the Gamebryo engine, or was it Creation Engine? But yeah, anyway, it's the same engine, and to put it in Unreal, I'm like, okay, I suppose that works. We have, as fans, we have our own idea of what a game engine means, but developers just kind of use these tools, and I don't know. We'll see how it looks, because I played a little bit of it on Back and Pat several months ago when this rumor started to pop up, and a guy in 2024 trying to play Oblivion from 2006, it was pretty tough for me because I had only played Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online. So, yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I'm excited for it. Should be a cool reveal.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's a developer director. They just roll out on Twitter and just drop it, and that's that.
There you go. I think that crazy.
It's available today. Oblivion Remake. I'm trying to think right now. Josie, did you play the Elder Scrolls games at all?
Skyrim? I played Skyrim.
Okay, this is what I noticed. I put it up as a poll and stuff, and people were discussing it in the comments below the poll. They're like, "Yeah, Skyrim was the first one I really played." I thought about, man, even that was like 2011. But it was so weird for me to remember that Oblivion was 19 years ago now. I think some of us do that thing where we don't realize how long ago a game came out, and we just assume that everyone else was there when it released. Ancient history now, it feels like. But I don't know. Would you check this out, Josie, if they remade it, Elder Scrolls Game Pass?
Maybe. I feel like it depends. Like, I mean,
if you don't have time for other games, you probably won't have time for that, because
that's true.
It's a whole thing.
But I mean, I like Skyrim a lot.
It's a bit more happening than Death Stranding's kind of that game where you're just kind of isolated and walking. At least Oblivion, there's more.
I could maybe see myself getting into a game like this, but I just don't even know if like I don't even know if I'd play Skyrim right now if it came out again.
Okay.
So I don't know. But that was my first experience with all of it with Skyrim, and then I honestly just watched my brother and dad play it, and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy magic," and then that was kind of it.
That was a big deal back then when you walked in the cave for the first time and you had like that luminous spell and it lit up the cave walls. That was a big deal coming off the original Xbox and the PS2 and the GameCube. Just that lighting effect. As sad as that sounds now.
I really liked pickpocketing in that game. I did that a lot.
Celia does it in real life. That's why you two get it.
A thief.
Did you win another contest, Celia?
You're muted.
Still muted.
You're just going, and you are so muted.
Excited, yeah.
Yeah, you can't hear.
A lot of explaining going on.
Completely off.
Oh, Celia, you're muted.
Yeah, you're so muted.
I was talking this whole time. I was like, let me have my fun, guys. Darn it, I should. Wait, yeah, I don't remember what I said.
Your contest.
Okay, rewind. How dare you, Sean? Let me have my fun.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm just stating.
I mean, like, if you enter enough contests, you just start to win a bunch. So. Yeah, it's the numbers game.
Okay. Saw that pop up on the timeline that you won an indie game or something.
Yeah, there's cats in it. It's Petite Island, and you're this cute little cat with glasses, and I was really excited about it.
Okay. All right then. Good stuff. Let me go to the rest of so far with Microsoft's 2025, because we just talked about the idea of Oblivion coming out next month, even with a shadow drop.
Real quick,
Go.
John. I
Go, Joe.
can't believe you were discriminating against Atelier Yumia. You didn't want to talk about it at all. That game's coming out this upcoming week, and I think
Which
it's gonna
game?
be Atelier Yumia.
The 20 people who are going to play it already know about it.
20
They're fine with
people?
it.
What?
Wait,
No,
what is
Atelier's-
this?
You don't know about Atelier Yumia? It's the brand
I always
new
thought they
Atelier
were
game.
called Atlier.
Atelier.
No.
I think I used to call him
Brent
Atelier. Is Atelier right?
Atelier.
All right, good. Whew, or Atlier. I like
Atelier.
that.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
a good one.
Atlier.
There's a demo coming out on Monday. We don't got to talk about it a lot, and I have a review. I have a review coming up. I've been playing it, and yeah, check out the demo. It transfers over to the full game. It's like well, you've seen the previews, kind of like Breath of the Wild, along with some like I don't know, like some old like Final Fantasy VIII mixed with some
Do you play as an
cooldowns
adult?
and stuff. They seem like adults, yes.
Short answer is sure.
I mean, they're probably like maybe like 19 or 20. I don't know. I don't look at the damn age.
Yeah, motorcycle.
Okay, I just tuned back into this conversation. What is happening?
He's asked me about the age of the people. in the game.
I'm looking
Okay.
at the trailer here. I don't
I am
know
too,
about
Sean.
that
And then I
teen.
tuned in of you being like, I don't know how old they are.
How does
I'm
she
like,
not
hold
look
on.
19? What do you mean, bro? How can you? What age does she look? Hold on.
Interesting character design.
Yeah. I hope it's a great game for those who enjoy Atlier games. Not my
Atelier?
cup of tea.
I know
You
you
can
like
mispronounce that
wrestling
if it ever
games.
comes up in the news for you, Sean. Just mispronounce it.
I
Dead
mispronounce
serious.
shit all the time.
What-
I
What
care
if,
less.
what if they add a Hulk Hogan DLC to like a Hulkamania?
I don't
You
think
can
he
run
would.
wild in Atelier.
I mean,
Where's the guitar?
it's upstairs.
Oh, we did so much on Game.
All of a sudden, the game is great if they add Hulk.
I mean,
Great game.
Atlier becomes a little more interesting. So the character's name is Yumia.
Also a little more racist, but I mean that's beside the point.
It's a give and take sort of situation. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Is the character name Yumia? I believe
Her name's Yumia. Yeah,
Yumia.
there's a demo coming out on Monday as well, so you guys can check out the demo. Transfers over to the full save. Like if you like Breath of the Wild, there's a lot like from just the previews that you can see in there. So it kind of has a little bit of Breath of the Wild in terms of how you traverse and go through like different environments, and it's pretty large in terms of what they shown. The combat, like I said, looks cool, super cool combat in terms of like the cooldown and skills and stuff. So yeah, I'm playing it, and I'll have a review later. So
I'll check out the demo too. I love weeb games. So
Okay, good stuff. You said it's out next week?
yeah, it's out. It's coming out on the 21st. So it's kind of tough. It's following Assassin's Creed Shadows and Xenoblade X, so it's kind of tough following those two. But yeah, if you like the Atelier Ryza games, then you'll probably like this one a lot too.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. So Microsoft in 2025 just talked about Oblivion. Colt, how are you feeling about them so far? Looking at we're up to like the first half for them, because I'm sure they'll have their event in June. But I mean, let's just imagine that Oblivion comes out before the end of June, so it does make it the first half of this year. How are you feeling though, looking at Microsoft right now for 2025?
It only took a decade, but they finally arrived with some games. It's been a long wait for them to, especially since 2018 when they started to build up studios, 2019 they started to acquire them, and here we are in 2025 and they're finally like got this steady cadence of games. Basically, they have something every single month in 2025 for what we're looking at, and they might not have something like technically every month, because like Claire comes in like, was that mid-April?
Obscure Expedition 33.
Yeah, so they don't really
the end
have
of
anything
April.
in. They don't have anything in May per se, unless Oblivion came out, but that's not even officially announced. But basically, they have enough for almost 10 or 12 games this year from their studios, and it's been such.
They have Doom.
Yeah, they have Doom in May. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Funny enough, I was in LA this week playing that hands on. So I'll be doing a preview for that.
Oh, wow.
That was awesome chance to do that. But yeah, they've got it's insane that when we might get a Forza Horizon 6, reveal at showcase. Fable got moved, but there's so many games, and it's taken them this long, but it's pretty cool. And I've talked a lot over the past year, like way too much about the Xbox business update, and they're changing a more multi-platform approach. But I just want people to know that, like I said, there's been so many arguments that I would rather have Xbox the way it is now with all these games that I get to play than to have them 10 years ago when they had exclusivity and they gave us Recore and Super Lucky Stale. And people have this assumption of how Xbox fans are or how I would be because I've been talking and covering Xbox for so long. And there's a scenario like, what if they had all these games and they were exclusive? I think there'd be an uptick in console sales, but would it be enough? I just think it just took them far too long to get here. And I'm just really excited about what is actually coming out that I can play. And I mean, Game Pass just a bonus for me. So I'm really excited about this year, and it's really cool seeing the team and meeting with the studios and the teams and seeing them excited, knowing that things are actually working out really, really well.
Yeah, I think if it was exclusive to Xbox, I don't know if you would have this many games coming out though in a year. I mean, we're talking about some games clearly on PS5 as well, re-releases, games that have already been on Xbox. But if you're a platform holder, having that many big games come out that can't sell to PC day one, PlayStation, maybe Switch 2, it does feel like you'd have to move and spread things out a bit more. Otherwise, you're going to overrun completely on one platform. So you might be right in the sense that could affect just their overall release cadence. Because we're not even talking like Outer Worlds 2 is still coming out this year. Mm-hmm. They're publishing Ninja Gaiden 4. Apparently that project wouldn't have happened unless Microsoft funded it.
Yep.
From what was mentioned. And then there's going to be a Call of Duty. Gears of War might be this year. That's the thing. We'll find out in June what the second half looks like. But like their first half so far looks really good. That's why I was surprised to hear that Oblivion might even shadow drop now. I feel like that would have just been a June release. Like, oh yeah, we'll announce in April, it's coming out in June, because then you legitimately have 7 or 8 releases in the first 6 months of the year on the platform, and then the additional 2 on PlayStation there. That's not normal stuff. So 2025, I think there's a chance 2025 could be one of the biggest years Microsoft's ever had in gaming. Like just outright publishing, I'll say. Not necessarily for console sales, but publishing wise, I mean, I don't really know any companies that would release a Call of Duty to cap things off at the end of a year either.
Yeah, there's so many games that they're doing, and one of their problems is they have to try to navigate the big releases like Borderlands 4 and Grand Theft Auto 6, and everybody talks about that a million times over. But everyone's like, well, they don't want to put out Fable at the end of the year, and it's up against Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. And I kind of have an attitude about that because I've been waiting and been starving for games from Xbox for so long, where I'm like, that's your problem. Like, put your games out when they're ready. Like, I don't care if they bump up against other people or if they bump up against other studios that you own. It's like, this is your problem. You own 30 studios. You have so many games in the works that can't be delayed any longer. They're actually starting to avalanche out now. So I think that's a great problem to have. For once, Xbox has to like really pick it. They're probably looking at the calendar and go like, we're not just picking a month. We have to pick a week inside of a month that something has to release. And I think you nailed it when you said, when do they put Oblivion in? They're just going to pick, maybe they will pick June, or maybe they'll just pick the end of the April after Claire gets on Game Pass and everything like that. So what a good problem to have, especially for Xbox fans who've put up with their dragging of their feet and sitting on riding the pine for so long as a gaming platform.
It's funny you mentioned Forza Horizon. I didn't even think of that. They are due for a new Forza
They're
Horizon.
Way overdue.
Although Playground's been working on Fable, so I assume they just have another division working on Forza.
They have two separate. Yeah, they have two separate studios in the UK. They have St. Albans House Studio, which is their RPG studio, and then they have the existing Forza Horizon studio. And we can assume that some of Playground's Forza Horizon team has been doing some heavy lifting on Forza Tech Engine while they build Fable. But for the most part, it's like they can't not be working on Forza Horizon 6 And we thought it would be out last year because they moved from every 2 years to every 3 years. Well, this year is every 4th year. I think it's been 2021 to 2025 from Forza Horizon 5, and a separate studio is doing the PS5 port. It's really crazy. There's a lot there.
Wasn't the rumor for the next Forza Horizon they're trying to do Japan?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that would be cool.
That would be super cool.
With
Wouldn't that
Yasuke
be
and
like,
Naoe.
you know what's funny, Sean? Like, I think. Hey, you know what I watched? Hey, you know what I watched? What was this, like 3 or 4 weeks ago? What service was it when I popped up? Tokyo Drift, Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
I was like, let's watch this thing again. And it's so funny because it's kind of that window in time back to oh my gosh, was that like the mid 2000s? Like
Yeah, it was
era.
probably 02 or 03 or something like that. Yeah, back
And
then.
it's so funny to watch now, just like 20 years later. But I'm picturing that, like, you know, if they kind of tackled that, even that time period for Forza Horizon, that would actually be a lot of fun to see them do that. With Tokyo and like or just Japan in general, like the tuner scene.
I mean, you could even do it as because it's not necessarily like you don't even necessarily need that vibe. You just need Japan because Japan has, you know, so many different pieces of architecture from the big hills to the highway system to stuff like that. Like you could do a lot of fun stuff in that if that was to be a thing. But I think there was a holdup with some Japanese car manufacturers. They wouldn't want to do it if it was in Japan, which is such a weird thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that. That's crazy.
See if I can find it. Because I remember, because Japan. I'll look it up. Y'all can talk.
Imagine playing a car game like that at that time period, and like the Skyline is one of the more common cars you can get. It's like we want to start with a Skyline. So, I guess so. Sure.
Yeah. They put in that culture. That would be so amazing. And I talked about that in videos on the rumor of Forza Horizon 6 taking place in Tokyo and the cherry blossom, you know, mountaintop road raceways that are covered in 2019's Grid game. Like that's a beautiful game that has 2 different Tokyo tracks. And I just hope they don't come out and say Forza Horizon 6 in Ohio. I'd be like, no,
Ohio.
It's Honda and Toyota.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, because of street racing stuff. So if there's street racing in a game, Honda and Toyota don't want to put their cars in there. And it's like, bro, you got to have the clapped out Civics run in, you know?
Oh,
like that's a staple, you know?
That's interesting because I'm a big Honda fan, and there are very few Honda cars in Horizon 5. There's so many like classic era models of the Honda Civic that are not in that game. They have like 2 or 3 models.
Give me that 2-door 97 Accord. That was I mean, I didn't have one, but I
had the 92 Honda hatchback. It was amazing. It's an amazing car. I don't know why do we sell our cars? Like my dad sold his muscle car and regretted it. Me, it was a 92 Honda Civic hatchback. That's my regret.
Was it an SI or no?
No. No, but it was a 5-speed manual, and I pretended like I was Paul Walker.
Of course. I mean, everyone did.
Back in the day.
Shout out to the great Paul Walker.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Just a reminder, Forza Horizon 5 reached 40 million players. This reported 8 months ago, so it's a big franchise for them. If that went to Japan, that might set some records for them. So there's hoping they can pull that off.
And it would be on everything. Like Forza Horizon 6 would land on PS5, Xbox, PC, Steam, you name it. Maybe even the Switch 2. Like when Switch 2 gets announced, then these multi-platform developers are like, I think we can do it. That's going to be a game changer in the industry. I cannot wait for that shot in the arm that has been waiting in the wings for all these big publishers who usually don't land on the Switch. So, yeah, we'll see.
Josie, what are some of your... John, we can't hear you. You're muted. There you go, buddy. We still can't hear you.
He was cussing me out. It's a good thing.
All right, I guess I'm taking over the show. So with Xbox, we have, that's not the only thing is to talk about. Huh? Go ahead.
It said StreamYard lost connection to my
There
mic,
you
and then
go,
for some reason it
buddy.
said now it has connection to your mic. Just randomly a message came up. What were you doing, Sean? You go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying something.
Well, Xbox, it's not only just games we have to talk about because hardware was one of the topics.
Great segue.
That popped up into it with not one, not two, but 3 different pieces of hardware allegedly in development, with one of them coming out this year. At least that's scheduled and planned for this year. Essentially, an Xbox skinned ROG Ally to some degree. A lot of people have a lot of questions about it. John, what are your thoughts on the proposed plan for this one system before we talk about the other two?
The Asus.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
The Asus. How do you say it?
I say Asus.
Asus. Asus.
I say
the partner OEM handheld
Yeah.
that apparently is coming out at the end of this year is it's not really. So I would look at it and go, do I really need this if another handheld's coming in 2 years' time? The actual Xbox handheld. And because I have a ROG Ally, which I would assume this is going to be a ROG Ally with a Z2 chip in it, which is pretty much off the shelf, and it would play the PC games, not your Xbox games as well. This to me would look like something where if I don't have one yet, maybe, but otherwise I would buy in knowing that I'm probably a beta tester for their OS that they're going to work on with updates. I see this as them collecting data for their eventual handheld, and I have a feeling they're probably subsidizing it with Asus, so that they
You
can,
really do say it that way.
so they
I
can
say
release it.
Asus. I mean,
Dr.
Asus.
Seuss? What?
Asus.
Asus, so they can release it. So they can release their main handheld in a couple of years with a refined OS that they've collected data on. So I think it's going to be an interesting reveal because there it is with a guide button, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be one that's going to sell millions and millions of systems. They might be happy moving 100,000 units and then collect data that they need on it over the next 2 years.
I have nothing to comment on the hardware, but it is actually pronounced Asus. Like that's how you pronounce the company name.
Okay, now we're
Just jumping in to say that.
Now we're just making.
Well, I googled it while you guys were talking.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you
I've
say
been saying
Jesus
Asus
or
the whole time.
Jesus?
Both.
Jesus. Shout outs to Jesus for dying on the cross for our sins.
That depends
know,
on how good it
totally.
is. Yeah.
Start tweeting at the company. You say your name wrong. I don't know.
See, you gotta be the PC OGs know about Asus. Hey, if you had a fatality motherboard back in the day, you know what I'm talking about. Spelled with a 1.
Yes.
Anyone in the
we
chat?
know.
This will tell me how old people are in the chat.
I remember fatality.
I had a board and I thought I was one of the cool kids, and I realized I had an FX 5200 and I was not. See, somebody in the chat has to remember. Okay. See, Sean remembers at least fatality board. What do you think about this handheld, Colt?
Why? That's what I think. Why? And I think you got it because you said that it'll be subsidized. I think Asus and Xbox. Now, Jesus will be the new thing I call it from now on. Thanks to you. I think that they're both getting kind of a cut or a break on this thing, and kind of this partnership helps them out, saves them on development, and kind of helps them make money easier on a handheld. I don't think the handheld margin of profit is super high, but they're expensive enough to make that money. But yeah, why? Because I have one. I have a ROG Ally, and it can't play my console games that I own unless it's Play Anywhere. So why is Xbox putting their name on it and putting an Xbox power button on there? Like, so you can have the game bar? Like, because I don't have the game bar on my ROG Ally. I don't know yet. So I think we have to see what this announcement is that makes this thing go over some hurdle that thing doesn't already do. And that's a $700 handheld right there. And I take that thing to the airport and on trips and whatever. But Xbox's partnered Asus ROG Ally doesn't seem like anything that I would even need. But I don't know. Because if it could do anything more at all, then someone could say, oh, I was going to buy the ROG Ally X, but now I'll buy this new one because it has a little bit of Xbox support. Maybe the software is easier. But I mean, I have the Xbox app on that thing. I'm really kind of perplexed with this with this. One of you said that it kind of helps them understand what the pain points are, or the marketing direction to go with their very own handheld. I guess maybe that'll work out for them. I'm not super excited about this one.
That's why I'd assume they'd have to try to get it out like a $500 price point. Like they'd have to subsidize it, try to make it more enticing than, hey, Asus, go ahead and sell the thing at $700 or $800 like you want to. It's like, well, let's subsidize a bit. We'll make 100,000 of them and then see if we can sell them at 500 and collect data. Sean, you actually brought up something good, I think, in your video about it, about how the customer or the consumer could be confused.
Yes. I mean, realistically speaking, the average customer isn't like the people on this panel, or the people in this chat, even though there are some that are a little bit Asus. It's one of those things where it's like, it's like, well, this is coming out, and really, when you look at what this handheld is allegedly going to be in your Xbox library, it's not going to carry over, like allegedly with the 2027 system. It could just be confusing to people. Like, well, what is this? Why do I need this? And then, to me, it just seems like a weird decision. Like you're not in a rush. You're not in a rush with this. Do you really need to make something this year? I don't know. I don't think you do.
I have a question. Have they announced the price point of this?
No,
No, or
not
nothing?
Yet.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, because I'm just agreeing with you guys. I'm just curious, like, how it matches up to, like, the Steam Deck. If it doesn't take, your Xbox games and it's, like, only PC. I don't understand. It just seems like a licensing deal. Like, they could have done it with any other company.
Because you mentioned the licensing stuff, Celia. Well, Valve is licensing Steam OS to partners now. Lenovo made their own, was the Legion Go, and it comes with Steam OS on it. And I don't know if this would be a reactive move from Microsoft, but I have to imagine they are somewhat concerned with Valve and some of the moves they're making, where their OS, they're going to release, it sounds like anyway, pretty soon, they're going to release that Steam OS just to general public use. Like they're going to drop that and you can take it and load it up on a PC that you make. And I think right now it almost feels like a race to the living room for both Microsoft and Valve. Like who can kind of get there with this PC-like device in a box that gives you that console experience, but also kind of the openness almost of a PC. And Valve kind of feels like they're out in front of Microsoft right now.
Yeah, they were the first to enter it. Yeah, we'll see. But I do agree with Sean as well. There is going to be brand confusion, but Xbox is no stranger to branding confusion. So they'll make it work. They're pros at it. And yeah, we'll definitely see.
I think one of the things that Xbox needs to do is they need to bundle. This thing has to come with a dock, even if it's just a charging dock with an HDMI cable, so you can sit this thing next to your TV to bridge the gap, not just for console people, but for people to realize that a handheld is more than just having it unplugged and having it last 20 minutes for the battery dies, that a handheld can actually be plugged into your big TV. And I know that they could just say, for only $30, you can add a dock to it. I don't think if Xbox is going to partner this, they need to bridge the gap by including the way to connect that to your TV. So you can say, you know what, I've been meaning to get into console, or I've been meaning to get some type of gaming thing, and I can do this on the go. And if I want to, I can set this down like a Switch and I can play on my TV if I want to. I just don't think Xbox is going to think that far ahead, but I think that might help and make this thing different, because you have to buy those things separately for the most part. On most
I'm kind of curious what Nintendo's Switch patent on the dock is, and if that would create limitations for even doing that. Just curious.
Yeah, you can have docks for Steam Deck and stuff, but it's definitely designed a bit differently than Nintendo's. You still have a cable that has to end up plugging into the top, I think, but it's a little different, So
yeah, it's not that bad to do. I mean, it's pretty simple to do it.
Right. Yeah, I get that, but it's not like that. The idea of, I don't know, maybe the spring-loaded design or whatever. Celia could be on something with that, but I mean, you're right, Sean. It's not like the end of the world to have to plug it at the top and be good. But we also had, what was the other part of the report, Sean? We had 2 next-gen devices. You said 3. We got the Asus One, and then we had 2 next-generation devices.
Yeah, it's your show. You collect the super chat
Console.
money. You go
so
ahead.
you were off and running. You were off and running. Okay.
I was just trying to help
moving.
your bitch ass out. Yeah,
You're moving.
Oh my God.
You're
I
good
don't know.
now.
You were kind of on a roll there.
You
I
got
want to jump in front of that. Okay.
He just gave you the show, man. Take it.
Yeah. What?
Give me the money.
2 next gen systems, 1 handheld, 1 home console that apparently is going to lean more and more into the idea of being a PC. Again, it's stuff we've heard before. It almost seemed like it was 2 publications clarifying each other. Windows Central and The Verge going back and forth. It looked like on social media too.
They got a little feisty with it.
They did.
A little bit. There's like an extra E in there
sassy.
on the name, and yeah.
Like Celia B with 3 E's.
Wait, what?
That's okay.
Okay. Sorry.
It was a little back and forth there, but basically the idea, yes, there's two systems, 1 handheld and 1 console that's gonna be more in line with a PC, which might mean that Steam's on there, maybe Epic Game Store, maybe a few other things. I don't know. What do you think, Cole? You think they have just a PC in a box they sell to you? That's
Okay,
it.
well, yeah, I've been covering this. I've made a couple videos about what this could possibly be based on some of the leaks that like Jess Corden has dug up, and my belief and feel is that this thing is more of a PC plus console type thing. And the rumor was that the Surface team was helping with Jason Ronald, the console hardware team, to develop this to be more like a Windows 11 based PC that has the Xbox dashboard on it. The idea is that Xbox would upgrade or update the current Xbox dashboard experience on console and bring that to everything. We don't know this yet because the Xbox Everywhere or This is an Xbox marketing campaign hasn't been fully revealed yet. You know, people said that it will be more clear soon. My idea is that there will be a universal Windows Xbox dashboard that can be installed on anybody's handheld or anybody's smart TV or your PC. Like, I have a really great desktop PC here, and the idea that it could have my Xbox Dash and all of my games would come over. This could possibly circumvent you can't play that game on PC because it's made only for something called an Xbox. Maybe that legally and binds it to be to have all of your games you purchase on Xbox console to just come over and play on this device, or to play on any device that has this dashboard. That's a lot to unpack. But the other concept is that goes along with that is that Phil Spencer wants the Steam store and the Epic Games Store to also be on there. So if you play across multiple platforms, all of your games are on one device because this thing is a PC and a console all at once. It seems kind of far-fetched, but when you think of Xbox trying to sell another console in 2027, they'll probably sell half as many if they sold Series X's this generation, because the need or the desire for an Xbox console is waning in an ever-increasing amount, because last generation they said you don't need one, you can buy a PC or you can have both. This generation, they finally told you don't need to buy an Xbox console at all. Like, there's that's marketing beats for them. No console required. So if they sell 30 million Series S and X consoles by the end of this generation in 2026 or 2027, they look to probably only sell 15 million of these next generation consoles starting in 2027. But if it's also a PC, maybe that's how they can actually compete and actually be a viable hardware seller. Because people are like, why do I need, I'm saying a lot, but why do you need an Xbox right now? And in the future, people are like, why would I need an Xbox? But if someone's like, wait, like, I can have everything I want on PC. Like, I can actually have a gaming PC that is also an Xbox, like, simultaneously. And it's like $800. I don't have to build a $1,200, like, buy a pre-build or whatever. That could be really, really cool. And I think Xbox better be looking at something like that, because they can't keep doing the same thing for 2 decades and expect different results. And that's the end of my talk. Thank you for having me.
No, keep going. We need
it's pretty crazy, but I've talked about it a lot. But it's a concept that is worth thinking about for us as fans. Like, what could that mean? I also think that Jason Ronald and his team need to get rid of here's your Xbox version of games. If I load up Guardians of the Galaxy on this console PC hybrid, I should get every freaking option that a PC gamer has. And I don't care if it's a set amount of hardware. Let me change it. I think at this point, gamers, we are old enough. We've grown. We've matured enough to be able to go in. If you could calibrate an HDR TV and calibrate your game and turn it to performance mode, you can make a couple of choices about what type of shadows or what resolution you want your game to play at. I mean, we as PC gamers, I've been doing this for 10 to 12 years, and all it takes is like 2 or 3 games. You're like, okay, I understand how to change the settings. But I'm tired of console gamers being treated with kid gloves. Like, oh, we'll just give them equality, and they have enough to worry about with the gamma. I think those days need to be over as well if they're going to go hybrid. Sorry, it's a lot.
You think they just have like one OS basically between PC and console then? So it's like the same kind of like overlay OS, the whole thing between them.
Yeah, right now the Xbox console is a Windows 8 or a Windows 10 kernel with the Xbox dashboard, but this thing would just be a Windows 11 PC with an Xbox dashboard that boots up when you're in game mode to play all those games that are supported. And I know we can all say, well, what if you get a virus or you're screwing around on the internet or you download some program and you ruin your system? Sorry. Like, this is like everyone, there are 250 or 300 million people on Steam every day concurrently or whatever it is that are logged in. They're, I don't know what the number is. There's so many people on PC that worry about this. Like, they can brick their own gear. I think we need to get away from the kid glove treatment of consoles and let people have more access and more power and choice. I'm tired of being restricted.
Quick question with this. Explain screwing around on the internet. What would that entail?
Let me send you some links of some of my favorite websites.
No, don't send them to Shaw. Send them to somewhere else. I just want to know what screwing around on the internet means you get a virus. What are you doing, Cole?
No, I mean, people probably don't do this anymore, but back in the day when we used to load up Kazan, LimeWire, and we get all kinds of bloatware and crap on our PCs. But, you can mess up stuff on your PC, and then, like, let's say you're trying to fix something, and now you can't boot your games because you jacked up something on your PC. But
jacked up. Interesting terminology.
Yeah.
We've had
there you go. There you go.
Evan and I dealt with some crazy like PC stuff back then when we had to clear viruses, and someone brought in I remember one time someone brought in their PC, a laptop, and we opened the browser, and those toolbars you would like install that would give you like deals, and it would take up like one column, right?
Yep.
Or one row across, right? This person had so many, like the bar for what you could see on the internet was like legitimately like a quarter of the screen. That was it.
Just a box of
they're like, I don't know what's going on. It's like you have all of these like save money now coupons here, like all these all these bars on your. So people do that a lot. Is not great. We dealt with some crazy people there. But here's my question though: would the OS going across platforms, would that effectively eliminate the concern around cross buy? Because if it's all one platform, it's all one OS, the third parties really don't have a choice. It's like, hey, you're just selling it to this one core customer, this one account, this one OS.
Well, if Phil Spencer had his way, every game that you buy with your Xbox account would be Play Anywhere. That's what he wants, but he's not going to get that. So I think there's hopefully there's a way to work around that to give you more purchasing power. And we talked about Forza Horizon 6, and it's going to probably, I would assume it's going to launch on PS5 day and date. I would think it'd be hilarious if you bought that game on PS5 and you could turn around and load up that game, that save, that cross progression on Xbox or PC. And by all rights, like Phil should do that. The team should have that ability, but there's some translation stuff that goes between PlayStation and Xbox storefront. So it's a lot easier for Xbox to do it. But right now, what was the game? Assassin's Creed Shadows is on Steam, Xbox, and cloud. Like Ubisoft moves their games cross-platform. I think it's one of those things that more developers or more publishers need to do. You buy a game, you shouldn't have to buy it twice because you want to play it on the white box instead of the black one. But that's not going to happen.
It don't matter if you're black or white.
It's right.
Even like between PC and Xbox, I assume you would just eliminate the cross buy, the weird play anywhere situation that's happening right now.
Yeah, since all that stuff's right there. Yeah.
I mean, here's the big thing though. This is what they got to do. They got to get rid of the requirement to pay to play online. Then, if you want console and PC under one umbrella, you got to get rid of that.
I think Jez Corden's talked about that. I talked about it in a couple videos for a while. That Xbox needs to drop it. They're in third or last place. They need to drop the online requirement, but they make like $1 billion a year off of making people pay for that paywall, which is bullcrap. So if they have a console hybrid PC, if this thing is Windows, they cannot charge for Xbox Network.
I don't know how that works
anymore.
then. Yeah,
What's that?
I'm not sure how that would work. I don't know how that would work then if they wanted to still charge the console player, but it's still Windows across the board.
And it's still a PC. Like they can't. If they did, they would get laughed, and I just don't think they would. I think, Phil's even said that it's an archaic thing to charge people for Xbox Live connections. So, but the money counters tell them not yet. So stupid.
Here's my question to you. Do you think it would be, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Which would you prefer?
Is this about my browser history?
No. That's for after the show. Which would you prefer? Them to kind of be middling in all of this sort of stuff, or them to just go full software?
Oh, you mean middling, like trying to make hybrid hardware?
Yes.
And making other people's handhelds?
Yes.
I would like them to provide the option to buy hardware. And I think that they may only do one more console, but they will, because Xbox people own games. Like, they're going to want to keep their library going, even their older stuff that's not available since they went to PC. So I think they should still provide hardware of some form, because that's just another way to get a customer in. And for them to go software only, I think they're boxing people out in the future. And it's super important that they keep your entitlement and the purchases that you've made for perpetuity, because in this modern age of gaming, on Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox and Steam and GOG and everything, you bought games digitally for 10 plus years. The most of us here, right, have a bunch of digital games we own, except for, RGT's got like so many cases back there. His house is going to fall over. But those games are important. If you bought them digitally, they belong to you, like by every sense of the word. And I think that the games industries realize they have to make sure that that's, treated with respect, and that I paid for those games. They need to come forward somehow. Hardware kind of helps with that, I guess, if I answered that properly.
Oh no, yeah, I just wanted your thoughts on it.
I don't want them to leave the hardware business completely, but here's my prediction. Because if they leave the hardware business completely, PlayStation will run with the baton and raise the price of everything they already have. Like, the PS5 Pro is a $700 console, partially because Xbox can't compete in the hardware market with their plastic. And I think they should always stay in the hardware market in some form. And I think even Phil has said, like, we make consoles because we always have a certain amount. Like, it says we'll always sell about to 30 million customers, and that's fine. And Xbox knows they can't rely on just the plastic. They have to rely on plastic, services, cloud, and selling other people's games as well as their own. I think that's why they make their money. And PlayStation just kind of has a different weight of that. Like, they do excellent with their hardwares. They sell their consoles like crazy. Their games sell really, really well, and they make most of their money off of other people's games. So that's the difference.
I completely agree with you. Just jump in and say that. Like, you made a lot of really good points, and I think we've discussed this before on the channel, but competition breeds innovation, and if we don't have that, then things get kind of boring. And if they can't undercut each other on the price and make it like $100 or $200 cheaper, that sucks, So I agree with you. It shouldn't go all full software. And, though they have a few things to iron out, like, in the grand scheme of things, their idea of having things be more seamless and like play now seems pretty cool. And I'd love to see where they go from there.
Josie, your thoughts? Chad is waiting with bated breath.
Sorry, guys. I agree with Celia. I think competition breeds
Women gotta stick
creativity
together.
and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Go team.
I don't want them to leave the console race. You know, I think they do have something of value to offer, but it's just about them finding their footing again and stuff like that, and seeing and maybe reassessing where they are more needed or whatever they're going to end up doing. Though I do kind of feel like when they do that whole Xbox is everything's an Xbox, like there's just not really a reason to buy that console anymore. You know, I don't know why I would ever pick that over a PlayStation when I could play the PS5 exclusives on top of all of the Xbox exclusives. But I do hope they are still around because they, like I said, they're valuable. And I mean, if they leave the console race, Sony's going to be able to do whatever the hell they want. And I don't like that either. So I don't know. I've honestly just been taking in most of this conversation because I'm not super involved in the gaming industry and I don't super understand how it works, but I like to play games. And yeah.
Yeah, none of us
Well,
do.
How about this, Josie? I'll let you sound off on this one first, okay? GameCube games on the Switch 2. How you feel about the idea of maybe even a wireless GameCube controller, an FCC filing that seems to describe at least the location of a label on a rectangle, but when we had the N64 controller that was shown to the FCC, it was just a square because they're not going to show you the shape of the accessory of the product technically till it's announced. So in this case, the label for it would actually be in the correct spot, like the technically bottom left for it. So wireless GameCube controller maybe, but GameCube for Switch 2. How you feeling on that? Is there? You know, I've never asked you. How's your view on the GameCube?
I like the GameCube. I think it's great. I think it's a huge step up from the N64. So happy with it.
Huge step up. Huge step up.
Immeasurably better.
It's a huge step up from the N64.
If you're not a
like
fan
going
of
from a regular
Mario-
guitar to a Hogan guitar, even.
Well, the games just play better.
Look, the N64 had innovation.
I'm not saying it didn't.
Yeah.
It's just like more.
But the N64 is very incomplete 3D. Like you can tell that it's the first
Because it
time
was a
that they're really
product of the time.
Yeah, and then the
But to
GameCube perfected it.
Yeah,
Oh,
which is what I just said.
Yeah,
But,
the GameCube perfected it. So
Okay. So
I think GameCube would be really cool to have on the Nintendo Switch too. I don't know if they're gonna go for a full GameCube online because it feels like they can sell us those games. They packaged Pikmin 1 and 2 together. I feel like there's a lot of remasters and stuff they might want to still touch, but at some point I can see it coming. I don't know if it's like right at the launch of this thing though. I think it might be a little bit.
to jump in, Josie, never talk to me or my inbox Nintendo 64 son ever again. No, I'm kidding. So okay, I also for your argument, they're like the Nintendo 64 has innovation, but the GameCube had a handle. I was waiting for you to to jump in with that because you know it was. Like
I don't think it's that innovative. I just think it plays games better. It plays them better.
Oh no, of course. I'm really excited about this. I really want the Wavebird to return. It was an incredible controller, and I had a lot of fun with it. I have a wish list of games that I want to come to the GameCube. He's ready for my list that no one asked for. Okay, Beautiful Joe. I think that needs a re-release.
Yes.
Deep cut. Okay, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
Yeah.
Wind Waker.
First party. Yeah.
Pokemon Gale of Darkness. Tales of Fantasia. Star Fox Adventures, WarioWare, and Kirby's Air Ride, and then like the obvious like Melee or something. And there's a few others.
Wario World as well. That would be awesome to have the Wario World game. They have never re-released that game, from what I understand. There's so many gems on GameCube. That's a great list. So
Yes.
yeah, I still use my GameCube controller for Smash.
It's great. It's the best.
It's a fantastic controller for a lot. Some games maybe not so much, but a lot of games it works well. Yeah, I would love to see, GameCube on there. I mean, it would be great because there's so many GameCube games, like they can't remaster and remake everything.
Yeah.
So there definitely needs to be some type of way to play these games. GameCube to me still plays incredibly well. The response timing, it's fast and it's accurate. I think it's even been tested. Like GameCube has some of the fastest input or latency of any system. A lot of the games play at 60 frames or really stable, frame rates. So I would love that. I mean, maybe finally we get Melee. Doubt it, but maybe finally we get Melee on there. So I think Melee and having a lot of cool GameCube games, Double Dash online with your friends. Imagine playing that. I've played it one time with the System Link, and it was the most fun thing ever in terms of multiplayer with Double Dash with 2 people per cart. So I'd be down. I think it'd be really cool. It'd be good, and they'll probably charge more. So they can probably charge more and get a new tier on there as well. But yeah, I'd be down for it just because of the online stuff that you can do with the GameCube games. And like you said, so yeah, there's a lot of games like Path of Radiance.
Yes.
That game's like $300.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't know
Hi,
that.
Josie.
Easy, Josie.
Bye,
Hi,
guys.
Josie. Miss you already.
But-
I didn't know
Yeah.
that game was that expensive. I have that game.
Yeah.
Like, what
Path
the
of
hell?
Radiance. I have 2 copies of it. I got a lucky copy.
Ooh.
I got a
Retirement
lucky.
fund.
I found a lucky copy. I found a lucky copy of it. But yeah, Path of Radiance is like $200
Wait. You found a copy? Explain.
As in like yard sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Not
found a
like
copy of that.
stealing it from a grocery store. It's tight.
Nobody
Sean.
would let you. Nobody would let you steal a copy of Path of Radiance. I mean, if somebody's really stupid, if they let you steal a copy of Path of Radiance. But yeah, there's Path of Radiance. There's so many good games that are rare. Skies of Arcadia is like $150 for Skies of Arcadia. Like it's just the GameCube games are shooting up there in value. So it's about time that they get that. That they get that.
We
going.
have that M-rated app too, right? For them right now with NSO, they could do one for GameCube and get True Crime Streets of LA in there. See, now we're talking. Get that going, get Geist.
I just hope there's lots of warnings telling me that it's not reflective of the developers today.
If it wasn't emulation, they might actually do that. Let's be real.
Oh my gosh.
It was a different time back then.
OJ,
I could see that.
have you played Billy Thatcher
I have.
on GameCube? Is that
Yeah.
a good game? That's one of the few GameCube games that have been on my list because it looks really cute. But I just jumped in.
I think you would like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't in love with it back when I first played it, but then I played it again later, like years later, and it's actually kind of cool. It's got some stuff, like some cool stuff to it. It runs really smooth. Yeah, I think you would like it. It's an interesting game. I think it started out. Did it start out as a Sonic game? I forgot exactly the history. I read something about the history about that game. It's kind of weird.
That would be really interesting. I have no idea, but I
Yeah,
will do a deep dive on that. I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Maybe somebody in the chat knows, but I remember that game has a very interesting beginning in terms of what it was going to be compared to like what it ended up being.
Okay.
Or Eternal Darkness, put that in the
Yes.
mature rated app.
Yeah, Eternal
Do that,
Darkness
and
would be good.
it makes people think that they had their save data deleted.
That I don't know. How are you gonna do CRT effects and shit like that? Like that game would need to be reworked.
Maybe
That might be a
remaster.
remake candidate.
Yeah.
A remaster.
Yeah,
Remake or
and
remaster,
it's
yeah.
never going to happen.
They keep on renewing the what's it called?
the trademark, but
trademarks.
They never
But
do
nothing.
shit with it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's been going on for decades at this point.
Yeah, it's been going on for.
Can
a while.
we get Konami involved? Get Twin Snakes in there?
Yeah, I mean I know people
Make that
kind of hate
happen?
on Twin Snakes because of some of the stuff, but I like Twin Snakes. I thought it was fun.
I'm curious how these games end up looking too with the Switch 2 if they take advantage of any of the upscaling stuff because the GameCube games clean up really nice. I mean, we've seen a lot of emulation videos. Sean's done a handful of them now, even with just GameCube stuff, and they just even like decently powerful hardware, lower end stuff can dress those games up pretty nicely with emulation still. So even at 1080p, 4K if you can help it, but even 1080p is looks good. Yeah, Sega Soccer Slam, that was a good one too. That
Never
was like
played that
the
one.
they had like spotlights on the ground. You ran around. It was kind of like indoor soccer, and if you hit a spotlight, you jump up in the air like Bullet Time, Matrix, and bicycle kick it in. It was cool. That was a good game back then.
Nice.
There's a lot of stuff they could bring in. Star Fox Adventures in 4K. That was the argument that the people were making online is that they would want to remaster or remake a lot of these games. Like I don't know if they're going to go around remaking all these games to the GameCube when they can add value
can't.
to what's probably going to be a $60 or $70 service if they do this.
They don't
Maybe
have
cheaper.
they don't have the time or the resources to remaster every single game. Like you just can't remaster everything. It's just not feasible with the amount of, unless you bring out some type of technology that like AI powered that does it for you. But there's just too many games and not enough time.
They'll
Even
never
your
remake.
style BMX 2 online, a BMX Triple X.
Well, look, John.
Oh, I knew someone was gonna say that.
John wants BMX XX.
I didn't even see that typed out. I was gonna already say that. I was gonna say the joke. You already put it in there.
Dirty bird.
Beat me to it.
The GameCube one was this uncensored one too. The PS2 one was censored.
That is weird, isn't it?
That's weird, yeah.
Don't know how that happened.
Who knows? Nintendo moves in mysterious ways. Someone probably playing a prank back then in the corporate office. He's like, watch this, or move that fuzz filter on that.
They should remake Piano 3. They should remake that game. Needs a remake. Remake it, make it good. Make it good this time.
I have one more. Simpsons Hit and Run. I want that game.
My God.
Well, that's
I love that game.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best games. That's
like ever.
Top 25 game for me.
Okay.
I think we have to keep in mind that a lot of the games we were saying third party wise could have been on PlayStation Plus Premium, and they're not yet. Although that's still kind of early. There could be a lot of reasons for why with licensing, as Sean's mentioning. But the interesting thing about the NSO, and I do wonder if this is part of the negotiation, you can't buy the games, whereas you can buy them on PlayStation Network, the premium games, the classics. I do wonder if that plays into it for what they can and can't get into that service. Like GoldenEye, when they brought that into Xbox and on Switch, you can't buy that game. You can't even have it on a physical version of Rare Replay. Like, it has to be just digital. So you can't buy it. So I don't know if that had something to do with negotiation for some of these other Switch NSO games. Spire, this is another thing that came up. Could the GameCube controller relate to a new Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers?
I mean,
absolutely,
it could. I mean, but they always, they could. They always do Smash Brothers games. Like, for those, if you go back into the history of Smash is always out within the first couple years. They like to have Smash early. The earlier, the better for Smash, because it's a system seller. So they're going to try to have Smash out as early as possible, like the next Smash.
Here's my thing with the wireless GameCube controller for Smash, OJ. I feel like most people who are still using GameCube controllers are like really into the game still, right? They're not casually playing with a Pro Controller. So in their mind, I assume they're also thinking of controller latency.
Yes, you want a wired one with one of these. I still have mine kind of set up for Smash Brothers. But yeah, you want one wired, but I mean, if you can get a wireless one, I mean, I think people would be like, okay, cool too for that. But yeah, it seems kind of more like maybe like an NSO type of thing. But yeah, I mean, I'll take a wireless. I'd rather play with the wireless GameCube controller, like a Wavebird or something like that, than like a Switch Pro, like a Switch 2 Pro controller. I still, for Smash Brothers, rather use I have to have the GameCube controller. I mean, I can use other controllers, but it's just not the same. So yeah.
NSO for sure. There it is. We'll take Deathbulk's word on that one. I'm surprised you didn't bring up the LeBron thing for the N64, Sean. Maybe you just don't want to. Maybe it's because LeBron. Maybe that hurts your argument. I don't know. You can't do that.
Give a fuck about him.
Hey, he said N64 over GameCube. You got to live with that.
Mistakes were made.
We'll go over to some of the mailbag questions, actually. Let's see. If you're still in the chat and you wanted to get your question in, you can do so now as I go through them, because I think we had, last I checked, 8 questions. So as I go through, I'll refresh it right at the end and see if any other ones came in. See, Vegeta says, just curious, do you think Pokemon or Game Freak call the shots over Nintendo when it comes to their games? When I say that, if Nintendo were to say to them, hey, you need to up the quality of your games, does Pokemon or Game Freak just respond with, yeah, that's cute, we'll file that in the suggestion box, anything else? Pretty much as in Nintendo can't tell them what to do is what I'm asking.
I don't think, based off of what, what's it called? The Sibri dude says or whatever, Nintendo doesn't own Game Freak. They don't own them. They don't own the Pokemon company, and they don't own outright all of Pokemon. So you're a partner. Right. You can't tell them. It's not like Monolith Soft. Oh, do this, do that. Can't tell them what to do.
They're
do
equal
what
footing.
they feel like, and Nintendo just says, okay, like we'll try, we'll do our best to the publisher, and they're in it to make money essentially because they're going to make a ton of money off of every single Pokemon game. So Nintendo can't force them to do really anything.
I feel like it's the exact opposite. Game Freak makes Nintendo do stuff because like some glitches that we got in like Violet and Scarlet, like if it was any other game that would not pass slot check, oh my gosh, heck no. So I feel like they have some pull there with some waivers or something.
Yeah, I think Game Freak calls their own shots, so that's why they're still developing Pokemon. This is from Kale, who says, "Are you grabbing Xenoblade Chronicles X this week? And do you think we could see a performance patch on Switch too?" Yeah, I'll be grabbing that when it comes out.
Yeah,
I'll get it physically.
I got a physical copy coming in, but I also have a review code coming in too.
Classic. Got to get that game. So I assume, Sean, you're getting it.
Yes.
Chronicles X. Oh, Celia, are you getting that, or are you holding out for a contest?
You know, I can't call it out, man. I'm sorry, I'm a winner. No, maybe one of these days. I have too many games on my plate. I just feel like it would just sit on the shelf.
It is a long game, so
Yeah.
that's going to be a portable game for me. I'll just leave it at the Switch, play it in handheld mode when I get the chance. So that's fine. I don't know if Colt, if you have any interest in Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Nope.
Okay, there you go. Easy enough. This is from Tommy. It says, with less substantial leaps in consoles, do you think it makes PCs a better choice with both Xbox and PlayStation games coming to them?
Yeah, a lot of those PlayStation ports are fucking shitty usually when they first come out.
Spider-Man 2 didn't help him any. I got to see Last of Us Part 2. That's going to be an interesting one because remember, Last of Us Part 1 was like terrible on Steam Deck. It was hilarious. It was ugly though.
Yeah, thankfully, you'll have a ton of other games to look at while they fucking figure it out. So.
Yeah, but I mean, right now, yeah, if let's just say going forward, the ports get are better and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with it if you feel confident in putting a PC together, or even have no problem maybe spending a little more to get a pre-build. I mean, it's hard to argue against it, especially if you're fine playing games at a desk. I think they still need to work out the living room situation for people who want to sit down with a controller and just start playing. And maybe that is the next step. Yeah. I mean, once we get there, it's going to be hard to not recommend that for most people. So
yeah, it's annoying to have a keyboard or mouse like within arm's reach to get in and out of stuff. But a lot of it is done on a controller for me when I play on PC. But yeah, there's some things they could do a lot better.
This is Game Bro says, curious if John and Celia ever finished Visions of Mana, and what were your final thoughts? I just started the game, but I'm enjoying it so far. I did not finish that game. I checked out of that game.
30. I'm about 30 plus hours in. I have not played it in a couple of weeks, but I enjoyed it. But there's just something a bit off about the game in terms of compared to like the original Mana, or even Seiken Densetsu 3, or even the remake of what they did of it. So not really sure what, but I think it's just kind of...
I was not interested in any of those characters. I'm sorry.
The characters, yes.
Nope. This isn't
and
doing
the button mash, like the mindless, like you can just mash the button and it just starts... Everything just starts exploding on screen. There is some depth to it, but it's a little bit too much. It's far more crazier than even, like I said, Trials of Mana. I think they need to go back to the drawing board. If they do another one, go back to the drawing board, look at Secret of
They're not
Mana.
doing another one.
Yeah, if they do. You never know.
No, enough time will go by where everyone forgets, and then a new one will rise like a phoenix. I did not get very far in that game. I enjoyed it. The button mashing did feel like a problem to me. Just in general, just my hands started to hurt after a while. I remember my first nitpick of the game was like, it was like in the very beginning where you help out the dragon girl, or the princess of her village or whatever, and she has a southern accent, but the rest of her family does not, and that drove me crazy for some reason. I was like harping and like hyper fixated on that shit. I don't know, it's little things, and I just feel like the game in general is genuine fun. You're gonna have a good time if you like those type of games. It's definitely something that could fill your time, but I don't know. It just didn't hook me the way the other mana games have. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably finish it though. I'll finish it. There's a pretty cool. I don't know where you guys how far you guys got into it, but the story does get a bit more interesting as you go along. But yeah, I'll finish it at some point. But yeah, definitely not one of my favorite mana games. Definitely Secret of Mana 1. Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana definitely I like more than this one.
have you ever played Sword of Mana?
I have. I've played every mana. I'm a huge mana. I've played every single one.
That one's such a good one. That was my introduction to like the whole franchise.
Oh, really? That one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sort of. It's okay. I still am just kind of like, I love the super, Secret of Mana, the original still to me. Not that trash remake, but the original, the Super Nintendo game. That one is still my favorite, along with 3, but still Secret of Mana 2, essentially, I guess. That's my favorite one.
DC Fat Cat says, ever get caught spending 10 hours on a mission you found out was just a side mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. I remember that in Cyberpunk. That definitely happened in Cyberpunk when I was playing it.
Xeno 3. Xeno 3, you're just doing something and it's such a huge part of the game, and it's a main character storyline, but it's just a side mission. You can completely skip this. But it's so integral, and there's huge cutscenes, and it's all this stuff is happening. I thought it was a main thing, but it's not. It's just a side thing. You can completely miss it.
I feel like that was a Witcher 3 trope as well. Am I wrong? I feel like that had some ridiculous side quests in Witcher 3.
A lot of them.
Just kept going. Joe McKenna says, how do you think ratings boards will approach AI interactions with characters in video games? I don't know how well AI models control censorship, but the internet is undefeated in finding loopholes that could trick Aloy into saying some interesting stuff. That is a very good question, actually. How would ratings boards deal with... So we had that video that came out that someone found the link, sent it to The Verge, and then they posted it. And it was basically Sony engineers kind of playing around with the idea of what if we had generative AI with Aloy and it could communicate back and forth with whatever you're saying in a more natural sounding, quote unquote, setting. It still sounded kind of robotic and phrases were pasted together, but it would basically react to what you're saying. So that means that, yes, you could have that AI character say things that are outside the bounds of what the ESRB rating places on it. So they could put a teen rating on it, but then you say some stuff out of an M-rated game that needs the warning in front of it. So I don't know. There'd have to be something that has an AI image on. I don't know.
Yeah, they might make a new rating for it, because games that came out and were teen rated but had multiplayer with voice would always say that the interactions in multiplayer weren't rated.
Right.
So
that's fair. Yeah.
Wouldn't they have some sort of parameters on it though?
You can set it, but people have broken parameters so easily on most of the big chatbots. They get them to tell them things that they're really not supposed to. So yeah, it's just people who think they know what they're doing, putting something out there and getting destroyed by a bunch of people who want to troll. That's how it works.
Yeah. As Joe says, the internet's undefeated.
Yeah, and then there's a language that younger kids speak that other people, the ratings board doesn't see as, you can get Aloy to say new vernacular or new slang that means something totally obscene, and yeah, they'll work around it. It's Aloy. They'll do everything they can.
Oh my god.
Okay, this is from David, who says, maybe now I will get the answers I need, and we all need. This question is for RGT, and also the rest of you can answer, but what about my inquiry, it has come to my attention that RPG85 has not beat his favorite Xenoblade game, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Is that true that it was his favorite Xenoblade game and he's never beaten it? That's a question. I feel so lied to. My question, if he is ducking out tonight for WWE Elimination Chamber, what do the rest of you know?
That would have been last week.
Yeah, this might have been a post from last week that remember they were asking and I couldn't find it.
Oh, that's the David one.
Yes, RPG85's betrayal and perpetuation about being a fraud. Will he actually play and beat the game all the way on Nintendo Switch this time?
I played, I had a Skell. Okay, I played a lot of
That's
that
pretty
game.
far in.
Did I ever finish it? I can't recall.
You did it.
I mean, I can't tell you. I can't tell you shit about that game. It was fucking what, 15 years ago almost.
It was not.
It was like 11 years ago, right? 10 and a half years ago, something like that,
Okay,
right?
so yeah, I mean,
It's going to be 10 years.
10 years.
This
Thank you.
December. This
10 years.
December, it'll be 10 years.
yeah, and I probably, I mean, I had my Skell. I did Skell battles. The only thing I really remember about that, because let's be real, the characters themselves were kind of the weakest part of the game. Yeah, I mean, I plan on playing it on the Switch, so there we go.
Wait, you care about characters now? But you hate the mainline Xenoblade games that have great characters.
I liked 1 a lot. 2
God.
was horrible in handheld mode. And I
Bro,
never
stop
played
this
3.
facade, Sean. Stop trying to convince people you like this shit. Just say you don't like it.
But I do. I like Xenoblade Chronicles X. I like
Oh.
Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Lord
Xenoblade
have
Chronicles
mercy.
2 was disgusting in handheld mode, and I play a lot in handheld mode.
Lord have
Sean's
mercy.
Sean's gonna spite
This
beat
man
this
has
game.
never beat a
like
Xenoblade
80
game, but
hours
trying
out
to
of
say
the
I
game.
love Xenoblade and the
I've beaten 1.
characters.
I've beaten 1. If you're
Oh my.
playing an RPG, and the characters are kind of important.
You've
Get
beat
him,
one
Sean.
Xenoblade game in a deck, and you beat one game.
Because
Tell him, Sean, say on the 20th, you're going
You
on a
beat
journey.
one game and
right?
said, I like Xenoblade. I beat one game.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles. That's the name of the first game, isn't it?
Oh, Lord. What happens in
Tell
the
him,
story?
Sean, say
What do you
on
like
the-
about the story?
the
The
Monado.
Shulk? Yeah, the fucking Monado.
Tell me
and
what
all
happens
this
with the
bullshit.
Monado. What happens?
Bro, I played this shit on
Casually
the fucking
spoiled it.
Wii.
All right.
God damn. You know how many drugs I was on then? Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, Sean was
This
like,
man
walking
cannot
around
even
like
recite
it.
what he likes about the game.
The gameplay was fun. It was interesting. It was different. It was part of the whole Reggie didn't want to bring the game over here, so fans had to fucking cry to him and start Operation Rainfall, which then brought over the last story, and what was the other game?
So how about the definitive edition?
Endless
What'd you
Tower.
think about that?
I didn't play it.
Oh, okay.
I
You're
beat the
you're
first
getting
game.
Chronicles X on the 20th, right? You're
Yeah.
gonna go through it in handheld mode there. Looks good. Looks clean. Looks clean. We'll come back to him, David. Don't worry. We'll get your justice. He wrote a whole paragraph here over this. This is a big deal to him.
It's probably OJ in disguise.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, bro. It's just funny when people say, "Oh, aren't you?" They come to my damn stream saying he's gonna play. I'm like, bro, man.
No,
He's gonna put like 5. He's gonna put like 10 hours into that and be like,
bro.
"All
How
right,
did
I'm
I
good."
play 10 hours and I had a Skell? Come on.
20 hours,
No, it takes longer than 20 hours to get a
30
Skell.
hours,
It's like
It
30
takes-
hours. Yes,
It's like
30
30,
hours.
35.
30
we'll
hours.
let hey, you know what? We'll get Sean's thoughts on the early bit of the game next weekend. Although it, like that in Assassin's Creed, I guess I'll be hitting. Well, you know what? Maybe in a month we'll check in. We'll see how it's going.
Sure.
There you go. Zach says,
But,
"What is
by the way,
scariest
David's
game
trolling you, Sean. David's trolling you, by the way.
Well, yeah, I'm well aware of that. I'm not.
Zach says, "What is the scariest game that everyone has played through?" Scariest game.
Outlast.
Outlast was pretty. Yeah.
Maybe
I
even
don't know,
Outlast
scariest
too.
game. I'm trying to think of what the scariest game would be that I played through. Because I guess you can't count. PT had its moments where it's like, okay, I don't know if I would say
I never got to play PT.
it was scary. Oh,
I didn't have a PS4 at that time.
That's worth modding a PS4, Sean, just to try it.
Is there an
know
unofficial PC build of it?
You know what might be the scariest, and it's kind of a moment in time thing. Dude, it might be that original Condemned.
No.
That had some moments to it, though. Just kind of the setting and there was one moment in there with the main character that was like, whoa, like really.
The mannequins? That was the only scary thing that kind of stuck out.
There was
to
a
me.
moment that happened, Sean, in the game. Ain't that something
I
later
don't,
on?
sorry, John. I don't remember every fucking detail about it.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Some people know in the chat, but I'm saying that might have been one. Just that big game for the 360 at the time. I don't know. That one stuck with me for a long time. The original Condemned, OG Dead Space. That's a good one. Sunset Zombie U. Yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know.
I used to
Over
feel
to
like
some-
Dying Light was at night was just terrifying, being chased by those like unkillable super zombies, and that game's not like really scary, but the first half of it's like a 40-hour game for me, and like the first 20 hours, like I almost didn't want to be out at night. I would do something really quickly and run for cover. That used to freak me out. That's good when games make you feel like the characters or the enemies can actually end you quickly. It's a good feel.
There's an unfortunate lack of knowledge of Condemned in the chat.
It's a good. You could get it on Steam, can't you?
I have the 360 version over there. I thought about
Yeah,
eventually
John. Not
doing
everyone
videos
has a
on some of these
fucking
games.
360 laying around. So once again, yes, you can buy
Most people do.
Condemned on Steam for $3.73.
That's a good one. There you go. Pick it up there.
Some people say Resident Evil 2 remake is very scary.
I could see that.
I'm just gonna throw Amnesia in there.
Okay. Amnesia. I think that's of those. I did some super chats left to do. Let me see. For some reason, it's not even popping up here on the. Oh, wait. Did I get that last one? Yes. Okay, cool. Thanks, Zach. I got that one. For some reason, not popping up here on. Did they do like an update or something for StreamYard? Why isn't it showing up there?
Oh,
Just
in
have
the
to go into-
comments.
Yeah. Okay. Now I have to go back here
Yeah,
to find it.
It's
I don't know why that
definitely
is.
not. Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, here we go. Did that one. Okay. Vampire Slayer says, it's my favorite people. Sorry I missed Wednesday and that I have to give my money to John. Just kidding. An Xbox handheld. Why would I buy anything Xbox nowadays? Thanks, Vampire Slayer. Demidad says, Warriors going to poop on the Knicks tonight. Sorry, RGT.
It's been a close game. I don't think they're going to pull it out. They're down 5 with 15 seconds left. But I mean, you don't have Brunson, Tibbs, sus, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not super.
Are the Knicks spot like locked into the playoffs at this point?
I don't think Indiana or the Bucks are going to take over the 3rd seed. So
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
kind of just waiting for the playoffs now, aren't you?
more or less.
Yeah. Vampire Slayer says, Catherine is great. If you like puzzle games, you will enjoy it, Celia. Don't forget to play the Rapunzel puzzle game within it for more to do. It's okay, John. Ubisoft can't do much these days. Give us the score.
Rapunzel has
Jake-
long hair, long blonde hair.
J2 says, Death Stranding 2 looks intriguing to me. Would the cast recommend OG Death Stranding or the director's cut version? Definitely the director's cut. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. There's better, more content to it. Performance is better than on the PS5, everything. So I'd go with that. Rufflemut says, if folks are such snowflakes to the warning of Silent Hill F, then stay far away from a game called Fear and Hunger. I don't get the controversy. Who care? All one word. Fear and Hunger. I don't think I've heard of that.
You should play it.
Oh.
And fucking Chris Cornell comes out. I'm going hungry. There's 2 of them evidently. Oh, this doesn't look very appealing.
Yeah, I was just trolling Sean Rufflemut over the warning thing in the beginning.
No, call it
That's
what it is. Call it what it is. Gaslighting.
I'm just messing with Sean. Mac Vega says, "Who will hold the line while Colt is here?" With what is this face? It looks like it's a ghost. I don't know how you did. Shocked face with the fear.
I don't hold the line. I never did. Yeah, there was the whole hold the line movement, and I was like, no, you don't hold the line. No.
DVD Knight says, "Great panel again tonight. Bring back Sunbro." I told Sunbro when we had the Switch 2 reveal, he can come on. We can go over the.
I like
the
some,
Switch
bro. He
2.
reminds me of Pete and Pete, that show.
There we go.
Show's
See? Drew Man says, so basically, Sean bought a $50 knockoff guitar signed by Hulk Hogan, which brings that value to about negative $150. Sweet investment.
Fucking dork.
Dude, that comment hurt you.
Guy with
like-
the Hulk Hogan guitar calling someone else.
I was just about to say that.
dork.
Somebody with the fucking Hogan guitar calling someone else
Hey,
a dork.
When
bro.
that motherfucker dies, that shit is gonna skyrocket in value.
No, it's not. Only in KKK circles. It ain't gonna skyrocket for anybody else.
Hey.
It ain't gonna skyrocket for any normal people.
Elon's gonna hit me up. He's gonna say, "I want your guitar and I want John's Tesla." And we're like, "All right, let's do business."
Digital Industry says, love the show, and I know it wasn't intentional, but since Jim Sterling transitioned, they go by James Stephanie Sterling, and they them pronouns. Okay. Atomic says, Asus, two Seuss, red Seuss, blue Seuss.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I like this game. Says Asus was my first PC build motherboard. The game port went out on it. I replaced it, resoldered it by hand, and it fixed the problem. Good times. Andy Ackerman says, should have brought Mag on. This guy. The winky face.
Good old Mag.
This is from Pickle Rick, who says, is anyone hyped for Bleach Rebirth of Souls?
man, that's a day one for me.
Cautiously
Sean tried to kill me with Bleach earlier.
Oh,
cautiously looking to see how it's going to work out. It's an anime arena fighter, but they're doing a few different things. But I've been burned by so many of them. I can't sit here and say that, oh my God, I'm super excited. It's just, we got to wait and see with this.
It depends on the development time. I mean, the biggest problem with the arena fighters is they try to keep up with the hype of the anime, but this anime's been fucking out forever, so maybe they had time.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they, yeah. Wait, Evan, you gonna play it?
No.
Oh.
Hey,
Just trying to give you a little bit of hope.
Listen, I'm already
So I can
not
watch
having
it leave
hope.
your soul.
Listen, man, I'm not having hope. I've almost pretty much given up on all. Like after JJK, I was like, dude, just screw it. Like I can't trust any of them.
Hey, Blinken says, how would Xbox charge for multiplayer access on their next console if it includes PC storefronts? That is the question.
Hopefully they don't.
That is the answer. I like this game says it feels like the decline of physical and the rise of Steam is making consoles obsolete except Nintendo. Mr. Joby says, if Microsoft goes hybrid PC console, which allows Steam, that means you can play Sony exclusives on an Xbox. Will Sony continue to port to PC in this paradigm?
Yes,
kind of
because
locked in now.
yeah, they're already locked in, and there's a lot of fans who say that PlayStation would find a way to block their PlayStation Steam games on an Xbox PC device, but I don't think they would, and I don't think they'll bother, because if they have the plastic console market locked down against Nintendo, they won't need to. They'll just continue to sell PS5s, PS6s, and they'll be able to let Xbox guys buy their games on Steam and buy them from them. That'll just be the reality. I mean, exclusives really, unless you're talking about Nintendo, the idea of traditional exclusives is really dissolving away at a quickening pace, and PlayStation is going to close the window of their PC games. Most of their games go to PC day and date because most of them have been service-based. So now those are the outliers, the games like Death Stranding 2 or Ghost of Yotai, well, that'll only be on PS5 at launch. And then a year later, they'll be on PC. So, I mean, that a lot has changed, and people who talk in the same mindset as we did in the 2010s doesn't really work anymore because everything's so fluid. And I think it really goes to us as consumers. We should stop worrying about how well a console plastic does when it's selling and worry about what our purchases and how much power we have for games we buy.
Celtiverse says, give me Rogue Squadron 2. Well, technically it'd be
3.
Yeah,
Talking
it'd be
about
on Rogue
GameCube.
Squadron 4. Yeah. Henshin a Go-Go, baby. It's from Superness Man's. Outlaw Farmer says, Sony games are so cheap on spring summer sale now. That's the other nice thing. You take advantage of the spring sales on Xbox then. Super Christian Me World says, I have my copy of Path of Radiance 2, playing through it again on every Fire Emblem Fridays. So good.
Nice. I like that. Fire Emblem Fridays. I got to do that.
Callan Shaw says, great show. I'm excited for 2s in Q2, Death Stranding 2 and Switch 2. Josie's right about split fiction level length, but it auto-saves constantly, so no big deal for me. Super Christian Me World says, there's a new Smash every console. There will never be a Melee remake. Just give up the dream.
No, I never said Melee remake. I said NSO release for Melee. Yeah, I didn't say there's no need to remake Melee. It's completely perfect. You know, like it's essentially perfect. There's no need to remake it at all. Well, it's not perfect, but you guys know what I mean.
No, it's perfect. You spoke correctly.
Listen, if people are still playing it competitively to this day, there's something about that game that's just special. Like that still gets decent enough numbers and views and stuff.
Jorge says, which Nintendo dev do you think could handle Game Freak's dev cycles? I mean, whoever you put on it, they become the Pokemon studio, and that's it.
I don't wish their dev cycles on anyone.
Yeah, I don't wish the dev cycle, because like Xeno 2 was on a dev cycle like Pokemon, and that game was not ready for launch.
It's just literally just yelling nightmare, nightmare, nightmare at whoever has to do it.
This is from Valenhorn, who says, which Steam spring sale games are getting added to the backlog? Are you eyeing any up, Evan?
Nothing right now. I'm probably going to take another peek at it, though.
I'm going to buy...
What's that?
Oh, I'm going to buy games this time. For Spike Chunsoft, there's a bunch of like up to 90% off like some of their library. And I'm a huge fan of the Danganronpa games. And they have the... I can't remember the name of it, but it was like the girl-focused one where it's more of like a third-person shooter. I can't remember the name of it, but it's been on my list for a really long time, and it's pretty well priced for during the sale, so I'm gonna pick that up. Despair Girls, there we go. I think that's the name of it.
Wow, Borderlands 3 is $6. Jeez, that's pretty good. And here we go. This is from Quest for Glory Gamer. Says, you forgot Tube Slider, F-Zero GX Autistic Cousin. Thanks, Quest for Glory Gamer. And then
clip that,
Donovan,
put it all over the internet.
Keith says, thoughts on Nier Replicant, playing it for the first time and loving it. Can't wait for Automata next. Oh, you haven't played Nier Automata yet? That one's very good. Nier Replicant was okay. I feel like it wasn't as memorable for me as it was for a lot of people. I mean, I played it on the PS4 and it was fine, but I feel like most people just played Automata and I was like, yep, that's the one. Let me go around here as we finish up. Let me start with our guest here, Colt Eastwood. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me at YouTube and Twitter at Colt Eastwood. And I try and do about 2 videos a week and 1 podcast I do on Monday night with Mag, who's better than me. It's amazing. But yeah, that's a good place to find me. And it's been fun. It's been fun to hang out with you guys. I appreciate it. It's good to be back with RGT, even if I didn't want to, but yeah, I was glad I had him on, and yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. So yeah,
you can check everyone out, of course, down below. I have the link down in the description. This is from Super Christian Miro. It says, RGT, you hated Xenoblade Chronicles on handheld, but you played it entirely on handheld. It says, bro, I'm looking at you sus.
Sorry that I'm using the system the way it's designed to be used.
It's bad handheld. Why don't you play Duck? No.
Bade says, Sean, if I think we'll get a Chrono Trigger remake for a 30th anniversary, am I on as many drugs as you were while playing Xenoblade Chronicles?
Maybe more, honestly. Because that's just ridiculous. You might be on more.
They beat your ass in the quote tweets, bro.
Sean, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85, keeping it real as always. Shout outs to my girl Liberty, still locked up. We're fighting for you. We got the t-shirts coming soon. Yeah, that's about it.
This is from Shadow. Says, any more news on Beyond Good and Evil 2? No, that's probably the last thing Ubisoft's thinking about right now. It's Beyond Good and Evil 2. They have a lot of other things they're dealing with. Claw says, has Steam ever blocked games based on hardware? Sony was only able to because streaming was via the Edge browser, if I understood it correctly. And then DC Fat Cat. Shout out to DC Fat Cat with the super chat here. I don't know.
Did something with regions, and that was
regions. Yes. Hardware though, I don't know if Valve really wants to go down that path, because that slippery slope almost a little bit there. I don't know. It's like, okay, you want to block this hardware, now this person wants to block that I don't know. That
they probably won't, which is why Microsoft's trying to brand it as a PC, not so much a console, because it's just a PC at that point. You can't really.
Yeah. Valve doesn't seem like the company that'd be like, yeah, go ahead and just block whatever you want. They seem to want to keep it more open if they can. So
That's how you make money.
I don't expect that. Celia, where can we find you?
You can find me on Game and Talk. It's a Nintendo-focused podcast with Joey. Jeff, why did I call her Joey? Josie, Sean, and Nate.
Jose.
It's a lot of fun. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm Celia B with 3 E's. And then work-wise, I'm going to plug the Shovel Knight concert. The last show in LA is on March 30th at 8 p.m. at the Fonda. Be there or be square. The New York show was almost sold out, and it was incredible. It was a really fun time, so I'm really looking forward to the LA one.
Okay. What about OJ?
Yeah, you find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. I talk about Nintendo Switch and RPG stuff. Got some reviews coming up or discussions with Assassin's Creed and Atelier next week, and of course Xenoblade Chronicles. So yeah, so check it out. Yeah, and I got some Fire Emblem stuff coming up too. More Fire Emblem. We had a cool Fire Emblem video. Got more Fire Emblem stuff coming up. Got some information that could be coming when it comes to what Nintendo's doing with Fire Emblem.
Isn't there another Fire Emblem game coming out this year at some point?
There should be, but I've been saying that for a while now. But no, there should be Fire Emblem 4 remake. So I talked about that in the future of Fire Emblem, but it looks like Nintendo might want to get some of the 3DS Fire Emblem games. Like we could be seeing some of that come back, Awakening in particular. So I want to follow up on some stuff. So nothing yet, but yeah, I'm gonna have a video talking about what they're gonna do in the future too with Fire Emblem. So if you're into Fire Emblem and Xenoblade, check out the channel. And RPGs, Atelier, I'm playing that too. It's awesome.
And what about Evan?
You can find me here on YouTube over at Chimeric Project if you're into hobby stuff, tabletop stuff. This week I just picked this up, so we'll be working on that. What the hell?
Oh, he's front and center. There he is. Give me the spiel.
I let him know.
Yeah, I was one of the few people that actually got a pre-order in for it. I think the whole box set stuff sold out in 3 minutes after launch, so I got kind of lucky.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
doing a video around that then. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, we'll be putting it together, getting it painted up, so it'll be fun.
Okay. And then, there's one other super chat that came in. Verdian Wave says exclusives dissolving away while Nintendo laughs the bank, having their entire ecosystem driven by exclusives. It works. You just need good games.
Not wrong.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to break out into a whole thing. I wasn't sure. I was like,
we're well past the 2-hour mark. We're trying to.
I was going to say,
I agree. It works. If you can get it done, it works.
Hey, W for Evan. Okay. Thanks, everyone, joining us. Check the links in the description below for all the good people here on the panel. You can check them out on their channels. Yep, thanks. W's for Evan. All in the chat. There it is. Evan taking over. There you go. Okay. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, with, I think, an interesting week in gaming ahead of us. With some
John, one more thing.
So, yes, sir.
I run the Spawncast pre-show, so if you guys want to drop by before the stream starts, now that we're back on Saturdays, I run the pre-show, so you guys want to head over there, about an hour before. I do that, so sorry, I forgot to add that in there.
There you go. Technically, it's like a 3-hour thing then. With that,
yeah.
Check them out there next Saturday. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll be back next weekend.